Go.
Hello! Welcome to the D20 Multiverse, beaming out of Wellington, New Zealand. We've got tonight Black Winter Nights, the D&D game set in my world, Elisia. From Oliver, Dungeon Master, I'd love to welcome you guys here, and my players, the Black Winter Nights. So, we are down a couple of players, but hey, that's just some... Yep, there we go. We're down a couple of players, however, we are in lieu of them having a very own guest player.
Yes.
Who you guys might...
We literally just worked this out like 2 minutes before we went live.
It was more like one.
Yeah, one.
So, yes, I didn't realise that one player was away. I think they probably told me and I forgot, so...
They did.
Yeah.
Now that I remember, yeah.
Yeah. But hey, let's not worry about that, because we've got lovely old Dave stepping in as...
Jinx!
Jinx the Rogue.
Yes. I'm only just discovering all this. Right now.
Yeah, read through your sheet. Luckily I had some character sheets that I'd made characters for a one-shot that my work asked me to do upstairs, so I just grabbed one of those. So enjoy, your Jinx.
I will.
I do believe that he's pretty decked out. He's pretty cool.
Okay. I've never played a rogue, but we'll find out.
I think we're going to need him this game.
Don't worry, I've got backup ones in case you die. So...
Does that go for all of us?
Yeah. Although he will be level 3 while the rest of you are level 4. And remember to keep track of your XP points tonight, because you guys are getting closer to level 5.
Really?
Not really, no.
No, not there.
But hey, if you keep track, then maybe you will. So, I would like to just do some announcements at the top of the show. Remember, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and now there's a podcast on iTunes that you can listen to with our friend Ben, who will be talking to some various people from around Wellington and beyond about D&D and stuff. But the main announcement that I'd like to give tonight is something that my players don't actually know, but would love to thank Leonard, 55, you absolute legend, for donating to our stream $70.
Oh my God.
Which means that...
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, we only discovered that when we were setting it up, when I saw the thing, and yeah, he did it yesterday.
Dave was going through all the setting up all the stream stuff, and he was like, wait, and he's like, no, that can't be right, I'll just double check that. And he brings up a thing over here, and he goes, hey, Ollie, yeah, you know Leonard? It's like, yeah, he's a fucking legend. He donated $70 to our battle cam fund, which means that we have enough money for the battle cam, just because of Leonard, you absolute legend.
Wow.
There were a couple of other donations, but Leonard, you're a legend.
Yeah, so we're going to be ordering that this week.
Yeah.
Maybe, if it depends how quickly you can get money from PayPal, but we should have it maybe before next game, but we'll definitely have it before the Sunday game.
Yes. So next week, when you guys are having like cool combat encounters, we'll have a dedicated cam pointed right at some of these lovely battle maps that I've got over here. My work sells those and I get staff discount. Unfortunately I don't sell battle cams. But yes, thank you Leonard. This episode and all subsequent episodes are hereby dedicated to you, because you're a legend.
That's a big call.
Oh, it is, yeah.
There's a lot of evidence.
So Leonard, you are the star of the show. Thank you very, very much. In fact, I'm going to chat to you after the stream or at some point in the next couple of days, because I want to name an NPC or something after you, so I'll chat to you about that. Those are the announcements. Welcome to Black Winter Nights. The party finds themselves... Oh, by the way, you were one of the crew members on the ship.
Okay.
It has been with us the whole time, right?
Yes. In roguelike fashion. None of you knew he was there, but he was actually sneaking and stealthing behind you guys.
You'll stowaway.
I was CGI'd in the background.
Yeah.
Like, when I do my recap, I'm just CGI'd in the background.
Yeah.
Going, yeah, look at me.
Yeah. Doing less than integral things to the story, but still there nonetheless. So the party finds themselves in the Talon Isles, charged by Throm and Ashback after the victorious defeat of Lord Nyath, the evil force sweeping west of Okast. You had travelled on a ship that Throm had gifted you. Ah, what a nice man. And off you went through the turbulent seas, past a couple of vortexes there in the ocean, of course, and made your way to Talon Isles, where you found the place ablaze with fireleaf, the kind of tree that only grows in the Talon Isles. Trees that have bright burning leaves, the colour of the sun. Coming close, you saw a whole bunch of hooded figures watching you guys, and they were less than receptive as they just fireballed you guys. Fate decided to retaliate and send off an arrow, and a whole lot of high-level arcana hijinks kind of ensued after that. The party then regrouped off to a smaller island, came up with a game plan, and made their way back, trying to be stealthy, but unfortunately the dragonkin that adorn this island was able to spot you. One of our players who speaks Draconic was able to do a bit of diplomacy Luckily, upon finding that you had in fact been gifted some visions of some draconic events, the Dragonkin on Talon Isles were so intrigued they invited you to a conversation. The party found themselves onto the island and followed through a series of dimension doors that led them right into the heart of the Talon Isles behind many now closed steel gates. You were invited into a dark room around which you sat at this giant wooden table inlaid with metals, with the orb that Arkyan was most interested in, as he could feel that the energy coming from this table was draconic in nature, as is his own eye. And the party then followed the man without a name, leader of the Dragonkin on Talon Isles, to a back courtyard where they saw a dark ritual being undertaken on a red dragon wormling, who was... it was red. Yeah, it was red. Of course it was red. Dragon wormling that they found in the process of being murdered and then regenerated, brought back to life through the use of some dark arcana. And that is where the party finds themselves now. Jinx, you've emerged from the shadows after stealthily following the party. The rest of you stand in front of the Dragonkin man without a name, whose last words to you were, "Now, the magic is ours." And the vortex of fireleaf freezes, and the leaves return to the trees around the courtyard. In the centre is this horribly broken red dragon wormling, necrotic damage, bones poking through its skin, and its eyes just flash red. What are you guys doing?
I take it you're translating this for us? They're not speaking in common, right?
Correct. They are speaking Draconic.
Right. Shit.
I'm translating everything.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I know this is a bit inappropriate. You know,
Who are you?
Where did you come from? I've been following you for a while. I thought that was.
You've been drinking my ale.
No, I've just been. I was just tagging along. I thought you guys are adventurers, and I thought it was a good idea. I've been back here. It's been really awkward.
Does it still feel like a good idea?
It was. That's why I speak up now. That doesn't seem like a good idea.
What are the Dragonborn doing?
So, the Dragonborn that had cast this ritual have now stepped back, and you can now see they adorn the entire walls of this courtyard. The Dragon King, who's leading this kind of interaction, is just watching you intently with a bit of a sick smile across his face. The air itself is thick, humid. The heat has risen quite considerably since you guys entered this part of the courtyard. And the sky itself, this cloudless yet black sky. There are no clouds, however you can't see any stars shining down upon you. If you can all make a perception check, please.
Nice.
18?
21.
Nice.
Very low.
5.
Okay. Mr. Jinx, could you pass me that, please?
Oh boy.
A sound of drums starts rattling through the air as Arkyan. You notice that at a very, very low volume, especially when compared to the sound of the drum beat, the rest of the Dragonkin are now muttering some kind of enchantment. You notice that the wormling in the centre, bones and bloods and rotted flesh, has just trained its eyes on you. Your eye inside your skull just burns brightly for a second.
Does it look like the reanimation process is still ongoing?
It looks like it's done.
Do I recognize their chants?
Which languages do you speak? You speak Draconic, Elvish?
Common, Elvish, Infernal, Primordial, and Celestial.
Cool. Can you roll some insight, please?
That is a 10.
Okay. So,
no, sorry. Plus my bonus is a 12.
Okay, alright, 12, yeah. They are chanting very quietly, so it's difficult to discern all the words. It's definitely draconic in nature, although occasionally there are words in there that you don't recognise, and you're not actually sure what language they are. But however, most of it is, "We grant this blessing to you, O Lord." The wormling itself breathes a small spurt of fire, and a kind of little tail of smoke vanishes into the sky.
What are our options re-exit?
Good question. You've been brought to this area through the use of the Dimension Door type spell. You're currently surrounded by steel walls, stretching up into the sky.
No visible doors at all?
No.
Alright,
No.
cool.
The Dragonkin...
Have we tried talking to them?
Yeah, can we ask...
Something you guys have just not done to me for this entire trip.
Wait, talking to the Dragonborn?
Yeah.
We've been trying that this whole time. They don't seem very receptive to negotiation.
Listen!
Because they have nothing. We have nothing they want to
I
say.
think he's trying to interrupt our conversation.
The dragonkin steps forward. He notices that your eye is glowing, and you can tell that he realizes there's some draconic power there. He steps forward and leans uncomfortably close to you, peering straight into your socket. Give it to me.
I laugh in space.
He intensely stares. You now notice that his skin is kind of cracked, like scaled, but horribly dehydrated almost. His tongue is very pointed. You can see in his mouth, it's actually quite long. His kind of teeth come down when he snarls. It is our magic. Now, hand it over.
This magic never belonged to you.
It does.
It came from the necromancers first. The same as the ritual that you used to bring back this monstrosity.
At this point, the dragon wormling now a much brighter, bigger jet of flame erupts from its mouth. What do you know of its construction?
Not as much as I would like, to be honest, but I
can tell you. I can tell you everything.
It's not going to be of very much use to you if the price of that is the eye, is it?
Maybe I should take it from your corpse.
You can try. If you know this magic well enough, you know that after I die, this eye will be gone.
But I wouldn't try. My friend is hungry. And he points to the wormling, who now fixes his eyes on you and takes a few steps forward. Claw of bone scratching on the stone floor.
I want to drop into that magical meditation state that I discovered on the ship.
Excellent.
And see if I can somehow feed some of my power to the dragon.
Okay, roll some arcana.
And see what that does. That is a 19.
Okay.
No, an 8. 17, sorry.
17. So, in the face of fear and his mind working quickly, he decides to go into a trance, blocking out the world around him briefly. As Arkyan's eye glows brightly, there's this shimmer of red energy that around his head like a trail of lightning beams, and his eyes kind of glaze over and he just hangs slightly. The last thing you hear is the dragonkin, his words echoing through your being. No! Come back! However, you're starting to tumble and fall. You land in this web, this net of arcane energy that kind of takes your form, and as the gravity kind of bounces, you scatter across the lines of the arcane powers. You're trying to feed something to the dragon, is that correct? Right. So, as little beads of your existence become these small, like little balls of energy and start travelling individually down the lines of the arcane, you try and focus and remain some kind of conscious being and will yourself to feed into this energy. First you realise, I have to figure out where it is, and then you kind of notice that you're travelling on multiple axes, and you're like, wait, but then I thought it was over there, but now that doesn't seem right, there doesn't seem to be anything over there. After a while there's this glow of just pure fire and horrible fear. You get like this horrible tremor through the lines, the fear of this creature. And for a brief instant, you're allowed inside its mind, and you hear its thoughts, and it's asking why. It doesn't understand. You start being able to access some of the surface memories. It was hatched in the skies. There were 3 others that were with it that hatched beneath a black sky. Then you remember living through its memories. You remember the sound of one of these creatures screaming as it was killed, and then its very being was threatened. Then there was this call, this intense call, where no matter what it wanted, it couldn't fight the tide of this call, and that's when it took flight. The last thing it remembered was, and you can see this through its eyes, just beating its wings above the Talon Isles until a jet of fire just took it, and then there was darkness. For a long time there was nothing. But then it saw light once more, but it had changed. Its whole form hurt and ached, and it seemed to be under the control of someone else. And you snap back, and the dragonkin, you now realise, is standing a few steps away. He's backed up.
Did it seem like the dragon itself still had rational thought? Or was he like fully dominated by...
Not fully dominated, he's fighting it, but he's fighting a losing battle. The rest of the party.
Was I able to give him some of my power? So like when I was in his mind,
yeah,
is there a way that I could help him fight against that?
You said fly far away.
Right.
And he's trying to listen.
Alright.
What are you doing, One Eye? What are they saying?
Sorry?
What are they saying?
What are they saying?
We gift this to you, O Lord.
You're saying we gift this to you, O Lord?
How many non-dragon... Sorry, not how many dragonkin are in the thing with us?
15.
Alright.
I just realised you're my boss.
Yeah.
That's why I'd be very upset if you touched my ale.
Yeah.
Very upset.
Yeah. About that. Well, I think we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. The dragonkin now takes a few steps forward.
You have questions about the eye. I can tell you everything.
I think your price is too high.
I simply wish to use it.
Use it for what? Seems to me you already have a much larger version of it adorning your nice little table downstairs.
It is incomplete. The magics which forged this is no easy task. The process is very complex. But with that,
and he tries to tap the eye. Ting, ting, ting.
We could complete and see beyond anything we needed to. Find our masters once more.
These masters you keep speaking of, who are they?
The oldest power. The dragon.
The dragons?
Yes.
But I thought the dragons burnt your lands and expelled you from your country. Is that not the reason you are in this godforsaken isle?
The dragons were the force to cleanse the world. Necessary like the rain, the storms. It was the people that drove my kind from the world. They saw dragonkin and dragon as one, the same threat. But all we wanted was to follow their power.
You seem pretty threatening right now, to be honest.
His tongue like darts out from his mouth and kind of flicks around.
I agree.
Go, my brothers.
And you guys notice that all the dragonkin that are adorning the walls, there's this like emanation of fire beneath each one of them. There's a circle of flame that they're now all standing on, and they all just sink through these portals of fire and it vanishes.
So is there only the one left?
Yep.
Tell me, when you saw the dragon, where was he?
I've already told you this, but the dragon I saw was not some twisted monstrosity you have created.
I'm sure.
If you seek the power of the dragons, why are you killing them and twisting them into whatever this is?
We make them stronger. The dragon that caused the darkness,
And he points to the sky.
was slain, destroyed. We wish to make them stronger, so that may not happen again.
The wormling is now clawing his way towards you. His talons actually scratching quite deeply the stone that it walks upon.
Should I feed him? Should I feed you to him?
I think half-elves are notoriously stringy and tough. Half-elves.
Maybe you should all burn.
Hey boss, I think we should leave. We're trapped in a room.
Roll initiative!
Yeah.
But yes.
You will notice that, probably in a week or 2 weeks we'll have our brand new battle plan for this kind of thing. Thank you, Leonard. God, we love you, Leonard. You're the
I
coolest.
just wasted that.
Okay, give me 1 sec.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Fuck.
Nice roll, too.
No. I've never played a rogue, so I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Could you pass me a player's hand?
Yes.
I've got one here for you.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Okay. 15 to 20.
I got 23.
23.
I got rolled a natural 20.
Nice. Okay. That would next be.
Stab.
Cool. 15 to 20. 10 to 15.
12. Yeah. 12 as well.
Who's got the high dex?
I got -1, so
I've got +2.
Cool. And you had 13?
13, yeah.
Cool. Ba 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 ba. You're all gonna die.
Well, it doesn't matter for me.
Yeah,
So
know it.
you are playing Gorstag, Shiver, and Fate, right? Or not Gorstag?
Shiver and Fate.
Shiver and Fate.
And Dain as well.
Yeah,
cool.
Which is ridiculous.
No worries.
Okay, so hang on, I'm missing someone. Who am I missing?
You need their
Oh,
character
right.
sheets, because one of us could, like, play them.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay. Okay, so they're all just gonna go there. Okay, I'm hoping I can just remember what spells they have and stuff, but yeah, alright. So,
They all have Firestorm, right?
yeah. They've got banishment and time stop.
Full
Yeah,
Gorstag.
yeah, of course. You wish. So, as the Dragonkin leader essentially says,
Maybe you should all burn.
the dragon wormling roars and the largest jet of flame you've seen yet emanates in this massive cone of fire. All your faces, you kind of like have to stop from like the power of the heat of that. However, Jinx, with your quick roguelike instincts, you realise it's time to attack. What do you
Alright,
do?
so there's the worm, the mini dragon,
Correct.
and then there's the
Dragonkin.
dragonkin.
Who's
Okay.
at this point he's stepped back and he's essentially letting his wormling.
Now is the focus of the wormling like on the big guys because I'm a small halfling?
Right. It's mainly it's on Arkyan because of the eye.
Okay. Can I for my movement?
Yeah.
Sneak around.
Sure. Yeah. It's okay. The area that you find yourself in is maybe 60-foot radius, so not very big at all.
Is it just like an open plain?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
you might have dropped
There's a couple of trees. No, there's a couple of trees. in each corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
That should be alright.
Your trees.
I just sneak around the side to get them from behind.
Okay. Yep. You can. That would be your full movement, but you can do that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
And
Are
then
you going
maybe
for the dragon or the guy?
the wormling. Wormling. And then I stabby, I guess.
Okay.
Really, just I don't know anything. I just know rogue stab things.
So think Vic. Think Vex. Think Vex. Think Vex.
Oh, can I fly?
No, not think Vex at level 3. Okay.
Can I pray to the Raven Queen?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Okay, so you've moved behind.
Yeah. And can I do a sneak attack? Does it?
Yes, if he can't see you, then yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm assuming you can't see me.
Right. Well, roll stealth. Let's have a look. I'll roll perception for him.
Okay.
DC 16.
I rolled a nat 20.
Oh!
What the fuck?
Then yes.
2 in a
You're
row!
gonna have to check those dice if you roll
They were
another
different dice as well!
You found out how to load the dice, haven't you?
Holy
Use the microwave. Anyway, that's awesome. Okay, so you're completely hidden at this point. None of the people can see you.
Yeah. Sweet. So I sneak around and I kind of like jump wildly at the wormling with my daggers out, just like stabbing them.
Okay. So you're attacking the wormling.
Yes.
All right.
So with that, just sneak attack, I get an extra 1d6.
Yep.
All right, but I still have to hit it.
Yeah.
So it's this in my dex.
But if you're hidden, you have advantage on the attack.
Oh, cool. So this is plus my dex, right?
Plus proficiency, so it'll be +5 to hit.
Plus 5.
Yeah.
That's a 20, not natural.
I do.
Wait, I got it. That's a 2, so we'll go with
Okay,
that.
I do believe that hits, my good man.
Yeah, so, well, daggers, 2d4. I'm assuming I put like 2 daggers there? Can I do that? Or 1 dagger? It was a 1 dagger.
That's one attack with 1 dagger that
Yeah.
you just rolled.
So I just 1.
Yep. Okay.
So,
So, as soon as this wormling like makes this roar of fire, you'll see Jinx's form dart at ridiculous speed behind one of these trees, and because it's low light, you just lose track of him entirely. And then you see him appear behind the wormling real quick. This knife comes thrashing down.
That's 8.
Nice. And sinks right into the back of this wormling. And you can now see its claws of bone are trying to trying to pull the knife out of its back, as it looks pretty injured. All right.
Oh, do +2?
So 1d6 that's with level 1 sneak attack at level 3, 2d6.
Oh, 2d6. So roll another d6.
Okay.
That's another 3.
Cool. Awesome. So Dagger Dain, this wormling, it's like now clawing at its back, trying to get the knives out of its back. Are you doing anything else? That's your 4 movements. You can't really do much.
No, I'm just a minion of his, really.
Okay.
So
As you pull your blades back, there's this arc of dark black blood, and the wormling kind of screams.
and I think that worked.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Shit, what was the other one? 180. At this point, the Dragonkin turns to you. He's going to multi-attack.
The wormling or the dragon?
The Dragonkin.
Oh shit.
Attack me.
Yep, that is 14 and a 19.
I'm a class 14.
Oh, okay. Alright, give me a sec. I really should organise my dice so I can actually find them out. Okay, and this one. Okay. 4, 5. You take 10 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
As he just runs up to you. Essentially, as soon as he sees you attack his creation, he runs towards you. And as he does, just two short swords, and as he comes close, he just across as an X across your chest. Just digs through the armour and cuts you kind of badly. At this point, Zook. Sorry. Orthanc.
My boss.
Zook, something is wrong somewhere.
Yeah. So,
boss.
you find yourself in Blacksteel Castle. Blackwinter Castle. In the Mages Guild. What do you do? No, Orthanc. You see your compadre, your minion, underling, injured badly. What do you do?
Okay, so how far away am I from the wormling and the dragonkin?
You are 10 feet from the wormling and 15 feet from the dragonkin.
Okay.
It's actually wormling's in the centre of this kind of arena.
Yeah.
And you've got dragonkin and your minion.
Cool.
This guy.
Okay, I yell at the dragonkin and I say,
Leave him alone, you scaly fuck!
I cast Blade Ward on myself.
Nice.
I inspire you by
Nice.
yelling that, and then because you're halfling, I stand over you, so I'm in his face.
Nice.
I'm like torn between how sweet it was and a bit condescending when you stand.
You're part of the crew, you used it by now.
I've been in the
Shadow
background.
crew.
Well, that was suitably badass. So Blade Ward does...
I take half damage from slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning weapons until the start of my next turn.
That's hot.
And you can use a d6 inspiration to hit, saves, or damage, or your AC.
Cool.
Wicked. So, the half-orc steps right up to Dragonkin's face. You immediately just get this surge of, fuck yeah, let's do this, and feel that flash. As you do, you kind of take a step forward. You pound yourself in the chest. This thing emanates that just your skin just hardens. Right, Arkyan. Your eye is currently burning quite badly in your skull. It's almost more than you can bear.
Does it feel like my spells are going to do extra damage because of that?
You wish.
Okay.
2 experience points for trying. Though.
Yeah, okay. I'll hit the Dragonkin with the magic missile.
Go for it. Roll to hit.
I don't need to for magic missile.
Fine, then just roll down.
Just roll down.
Fuck. Do I make a dex save at all? No, I just hit. Sorry.
Oh, it's till the end of my
10.
10.
10 points damage.
Ooh. Okay. So essentially, Arkyan, I assume you shoot this out of your eye?
Yep.
Just focuses and you just see this burning and this like white silver flame, this single tentacle like rise up and just become solid and then come down like a beam. You just see like this silver dot on the Red King's forehead and then this thing just emanates, this flash. Your head actually kicks back a little bit like a kid holding a Glock. And and it sails across. It cuts the Dragonkin's eye deeply as it scratches across his head and there's like thick blood pouring from his eyes. Which basically just insults your mother. Alright, is there anything else you'd like to do?
I'm going to move as far away as I can from either of those.
Okay, your full movement gets you back against the outer wall.
Yep.
Cool, Gorstag. You see a moment, you see a break in the combat. This is you.
So, the Dragon King, and Jinx are in melee range, right?
Yep.
I'm going to, and you?
Yep.
Alright, I'm going to go basically shove my way into the melee and use Cure Wounds on Jinx.
Nice.
Which
Cool.
is, let me find my 1d8.
Gorhaz.
Unfortunately, that is a 1, but that is plus 3 plus something else. Plus 6, so it's 7 healing in total.
7.
Nice. So Gorstag takes a few steps forward, his heavy armour poof, poof, on the ground. As he gets closer, you just hear him chanting this prayer to Palor, and as he gets close enough, he puts his hand on you. You just feel like this, the warmth of the sun, essentially like you're basking in a nice little garden grove somewhere in the far isles of the broken world, beneath a clear blue
I'm
sky.
having a real big mix of emotions in this battle.
And your wounds themselves seal themselves shut. Is that what you're doing with your turn?
I just want to make sure that I kind of end up with my movement in between myself and between the Dragon King and Jinx.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I'm
Okay.
like standing on top
Oh,
of
you're
him,
standing on
like
top?
right
Oh,
beside
okay.
the dragon kin.
Alright, well, there's a big wall in front of Jinx anyway, so. Yeah.
This is how I got blocked out in the begin with it. Everyone just stands in front of me, and it's over me, and it just ignores me.
We don't know where you got your
Oh god damn it, we're gonna defeat it.
Okay. Can you and you all make a dex save as the
Modified 20.
okay. Nice.
Modified 9.
Okay.
Wait, Dex. That's 11.
Okay.
I don't like how many dice you just rolled. That was literally 2 handfuls.
23
I don't
points.
wanna go
Okay.
with that.
The DC on the save was 15. Anyone that rolled under 15 gets 23 points of fire damage. The rest of you take half that.
Can I roll luck?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have luck?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Only because that's a 17.
That takes half that damage.
So how much is that?
Hang on, let me just double check my math real quick.
I won't be out.
Oh shit.
It'd be 12.
Yeah, I have fire resistance.
I've only got 20
I'll take
HP.
12.
Is it
Yeah, so it'll be
12
12.
12.
12 if you made your save of 15. Otherwise, 23. As the red dragon dragon wormling just emanates this fire cone that just ruptures out through the skies, and even you at your distance get like burning hot skin for a second. Some of you manage to like dive out of the way and not get out of it, but at least get out of the worst of it. And as the fire like stops and there's a bit of smoke just sailing into the air, Dain's up. He's gonna. Who? Can you guys tell me how hurt do you look?
I'm at half HP, which is still 20.
I'm pretty bad.
Okay. So he's Paladin. What's his healing spell?
Lay on hands.
Lay on hands. He runs to you and casts Lay on Hands. Is his action? I have no idea how that works.
You can just give away a certain amount of HP.
Right. So he'll give you 10 hit points
Okay.
Yeah, cool. We can, something like that.
as he runs and puts his hand on you. And
Pretty much a punchy bag at the moment.
yeah, a little bit. Gorstag, what are you? How bad? You can't tell me your hit points, but like how bad do you look?
Slightly under half.
Okay. All right. So he heals you for another 10.
Very cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Fate. What would Fate do? Fate takes her top off. I don't know.
It just strips
tries to
down.
That would be
seduce.
on brand, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say fires an arrow, because that seems like something that Fate would do at the Dragon Kin. That definitely hits. What's the arrow? D8? D8 plus proficiency
Plus sneak attack because there are like 3 people in melee with the dragon kin.
Right,
I'll be
so
distracted, yeah.
Sneak attack is an extra
2d6.
2d6. Cool. Ooh, nice.
Plus 2 for dex or something.
Yeah, it'll be plus something for these, but
Cool. Awesome. Okay, so this arrow sinks into the Dragonkin's neck, and you can see it now piercing out the back as small bits of blood start dripping off it, and now there's this gush of blood as Dragonkin and shoots a jet of flame into the sky. He's injured. He's injured. Shiver at this point transforms into a bear. Wild shape is a bonus action.
Yeah.
Yeah, and runs forward. No idea what that was. There's a clown
trumpet from
upstairs.
outside.
For some reason, there's a trumpet outside, but we'll deal with that when that gets to the door. Fate just turns into this giant bear and barrels across. Is going to claw, attack, and can't multi-attack, can it? That's only in the monster manual. Does not hit with a 3. Back to the top of the round. Jinx, you're up. The Dragonkin is looking pretty injured, and the Wormling's not looking too hot either.
Alright. I can't rage, but I want to do the rogue equivalent of raging. It's like, ah!
Okay, sure.
I pull out my other dagger. Can I do that? I'm not sure if I can do it.
You can use your bonus action to attack with the other hand.
Okay. Well, I just assumed I just took it out of the other one. And,
Yeah, I'd say it's a free action. Yeah.
Cool. Alright.
So,
Don't
who are you
add-
attacking?
You
Sorry?
don't add your dex to the damage of your offhand attack.
Oh, we do one at a time. Otherwise, I'm going to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
confused. Alright, so who am I attacking?
Yeah.
Well, the Wyrmling's still there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the Wyrmling.
Sure.
Like from under his legs, basically.
Oh, I think it's the Dragonkin in our face.
Yeah.
Who's on our face right now?
Dragonkin.
Yeah.
Alright, so that gets the dragon kid.
Okay, roll to hit.
Alright.
2 daggers come swinging.
That's at least +5.
Plus 5. Is it plus 5?
16 dex is +3, +2 proficiency, so at least +5.
Oh yeah, so that's 19.
That hits, roll damage. As the dagger just cuts deep into the kin's chest. You can see that his armour has not been tested in quite some time. In fact, it's not fastened as well as it should, and your blade manages to find the weaknesses in the armour and just dig into his skin. How much damage does it do?
So, because I'm not sneak attacking anymore, right?
You are.
I am?
1 attack each round is a sneak attack if you have advantage or someone else is in melee combat with them.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it is. So I get 2d6s on that?
Yep.
Cool. So that's 10 plus my proficiency?
No, this dex
Just
modifier, which is 3.
Oh, 3. So 13.
13. Alright.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dagger digs into the flesh of the dragonkin, and you feel the resistance as you just cut and carve through his flesh.
I'm not used to doing so much damage. My cat
Yeah,
never
it
does that much
Tell you
damage.
what, you can use your inspiration and do another die 6 as well if you really want.
Yeah, screw it. I'm that inspired of everyone
Yeah.
standing over me and me kind of raging.
As the dragonkin starts screaming in pain, you realise that this is working, and you just dig the blade slightly
It's another
deeper.
3.
Nice.
And then your offhand.
Oh yeah,
And you just rip, and out the shoulder, this huge spray of blood.
So that's plus. Was it still
5,
5?
yeah.
So 15.
Just hit, throw damage.
This is just the d4 though, add nothing to it.
Alright.
Really?
3.
Yeah, you don't add your dex on the offhand.
It's
So-
D6 for a dagger, isn't it?
Oh,
No,
it's a
D4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So,
So
the
it's another
first
3, yeah.
First attack finds the weakness in the armor, digs, and as soon as you make purchase, you just dig as hard as you can right until the blade is at the hilt. And the rest of the blade is just dug into this guy's chest. You feel your way like crushing and cracking bone as you go, and he just and then you rip that out the side of the shoulder, spray of blood and a little bit of tendrils, and then with your other hand just in the nose just to add insult to injury.
Punch in the nose like stab, bong.
Yeah, essentially. At this point, the dragonkin falters, looks around. However, he is going to. What should he do? He pulls out his longsword. As he does, focuses, and he's going to multi-attack.
Oh. I'm guessing at me because you're looking directly at
Oh,
me
yeah,
while you're
of
doing it.
That is 16 and 23.
Yeah. I'm plus 14.
Okay.
And
Remember, this is between, like, think of the visualization, because I'm between his legs right now.
Mm.
So he's
Yeah.
multi-attacking, like,
Hang on one sec.
That might give me a good opening.
Someone
Just
give me
put it
a-
on the head.
Which
Oh,
is
I found one. So that's 13 points of piercing damage.
In
As-
total? That's
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Okay.
for both attacks. So he just longsword across the chest, and he manages to strike exactly the same place,
Okay.
there and back, with incredible precision.
It's like getting a paper cut twice.
However, at this point, Orthanc, standing right next to this whole encounter, your brain just goes, time to attack.
I would like to rage.
Nice.
I don't have rage, but I would
You'd
like
like to.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the bard equivalent, which is use Great Weapon Master, so I take
Nice.
-5 to hit.
Yeah.
So I'm adding nothing to this attack.
And who are you attacking?
The guy right in front of me. That's
Yep.
a 17.
That hits, roll damage. Great
Okay.
Weapon Master. Oh my god, this is going to be so epic.
So
Oh, not Great Weapon Master.
that's a 12.
Wow.
Plus 3 plus 10 is 25.
Wait, what does Great Weapon Master do? Sorry.
It's the most badass thing
It's
ever.
-5 to your roll, +10 to your damage.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's just epic. Like it's real difficult to hit, but when
Yeah.
you do, so slash across Jinx, slash across the same
Remember,
place.
he's crouched down doing this.
Yeah.
Because I'm between his legs.
And this guy, this dragonkin just laughs at this point, as Orthanc just steps forward, doof doof, and he turns. There's just this quick beat of silence as the dragonkin considers, and he goes to stop, but you're too quick. His head right off his shoulders, spurt of blood, as he just falls dead to the ground, decapitated. The head rolls.
I play a little riff on my axe.
As his body just immediately bursts into flame and just incinerates itself, the wormling is still attacking. He breathes out a whole lot of fire. Arkyan.
Can I use my bonus action?
You sure can.
To shout "Attaboy" and healing word on you.
Nice.
Oh, cool. Which is 4 healing for you.
4 healing.
Cool.
Thanks, boss.
Attaboy! And you feel the strength of those words, and the way he says it, just you just stand a bit tall. It's like, fuck that pain. That's not even gonna. I'm not gonna fucking focus on that. I can fight through that shit. Arkyan.
I'm okay.
Blood like pouring. I'm good. You're out.
Where is Fate in relation to me?
Fate is
Is she like in between me and the dragon?
backed up to take a shot, I would say.
But like I'm as far back as can be, so
Yeah.
will she be near me?
Yeah, maybe 10 feet. You can try and pit pocket her.
No, I wanna. So like, if I were to go to her and then to the dragon, how many feet would that be?
I'd say you could do that with 30 feet of movement.
30?
Yep.
Alright. I want to go to Fate.
Yep.
I want to, as I'm running, quickly grab the dagger of vampiric touch
Yep.
out of her holder,
Okay.
and I want to attack the dragon with that.
Okay. Would fate let you? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, she would.
Yeah, go for it. Roll the hit.
And I will use luck on that.
Okay.
That would be a 15.
It's not hit.
God damn it.
Unfortunately.
Alright,
AC 16.
God damn it. Well, the dagger of vampiric touch, is that a +1?
No.
No? Alright, cool.
Not
Never
much.
mind.
It's pretty okay if it is.
Cool.
Plus
Well,
one would be
then,
really good. So,
after that,
yep.
I will burn 2 sorcery points
Yep.
to quicken Scorching Ray
Okay.
and hit the dragon with that.
Okay. Scorching Ray. Go for it. What kind of damage is it?
Fire.
Okay.
Which is why I went for the dagger.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a 20, modified, 12, and a 9.
Cool. Arkyan, you see, immediately run to Fate's sides, grab the dagger from her hilt, grab the dagger from her belt, and she kind of looks confused, and then just, okay, go for it. It's in your hands. You run forward and swing at the wormling, who moves with snake-like speed out of the way, and then immediately you just put the dagger down and just focus your arcane energy, and this beat of fire within your heart comes out and into your hands, and your hands just erupt in fire, and you at the wormling. It scales across and surrounds it, and it's engulfed in this ball of fire. As the fire dissipates, it takes no damage. Unfortunately.
Thought so.
Yeah. Is that your turn? I imagine that's all you can do. Gorstag, you're up.
I'm going to cast Turn Undead on the dragon.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
So that just means it needs to roll a Wisdom save of 13.
Okay, so I got +0 on the wisdom save. And roll 17. Nice try.
In that case, that's all I'll do.
Okay, so Wormling's up. You.
So it's us three who are in melee range. I'm not sure about anyone else.
Okay.
I think we're in melee range, are we?
Not of the
Not of the dragon, actually. We're in
anymore.
range
Right.
of the dragon. We're all in a group, though.
Okay, so if you're, so I think Arkyan and Gore, you're gonna need to make a Dex save.
20.
3.
Orthanc?
Oh, sorry, did you say
I'm
me?
pretty sure you're within this cone.
Oh, yep. Sorry.
Would I be in it?
Did you mean Jinx instead of Arcade?
No, because I'm underneath his leg, so I would be in it.
Okay,
as well.
roll Dex.
I mean,
I
no,
think it's
no.
a cone, so yeah. It's,
18.
okay.
That 20.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know,
It's
man.
like 3 out of 5.
You're seeing it, I'm just rolling it.
Okay, so.
What the fuck?
Okay.
That was a different die again!
I know! That's still a nat 20 from when I rolled it.
Oh my god.
Okay, hang on.
I just wish this would happen in my game.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, you might do some more damage for us.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so anyone that anyone that rolled over, anyone that rolled under a 13 Dex save takes 23 points of fire damage. Anyone that rolled higher than 13 dex takes 12 points of fire damage.
If I roll a natural 20, do I take any?
I think we've done this before, and in my game, no damage.
Oh, sorry. Lucky. Because
That might change, but that's how I've been playing it up to this point.
Just for the record, I have fire resistance, so I'm taking the half damage as well.
Yep, awesome. So
that's how much health.
the wormling like takes a few steps back. You can see it cornered. You can see it fearful, and it just emanates this huge cone of fire that just rips through you guys. That's all it's going to do. Dain is up. I assume at this point he's just going to swing with his divine smite, and he drops his dice. With a nat 5, I'm sure that's not going to hit. Fate looses an arrow. What? Yeah, that would hit. Cool. Okay. The wormling takes fuck all damage. So I'd say that. Yeah, and Shiver runs in bear form, and with a 3 does not hit. Top of the round, Jinx, you're up. The wormling's beaten, but not near death. It's
still going.
It's frenzied. It's
how far away is it from where I am?
From you, not far, 5 feet.
Okay. Is it attention on us?
It's fearfully scanning to each of you, and just kind of wants to stay alive at this point. In a bit of a state.
Well, from where I am, underneath his legs,
yeah,
I put away my daggers, take out my short bow,
okay,
then take a shot.
Roll it. So Jinx loads arrow.
You had that coming.
Yeah. That's in that one.
It's in that one.
Okay.
Use luck.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no.
How much
Is it lucky as a halfling? Because you can just re-roll a 1.
Yeah,
every time
it's
you get
true.
a 1.
It's lucky.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, you can just re-roll
As a
anyone.
halfling.
That's ridiculous.
That's an actually though.
That's a 4.
Okay, that does not hit. So the arrow, trying to switch from weapon to weapon, you don't have the dexterity on this, and it completely misses. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Can I just look at the bow to see if there's anything wrong with it?
Sure.
Of how well I've been going, I'm like, well, that makes sense.
The Dragon King's turn, his head just screams, "Pain will come," as it continues to burn. Orthanc, you're up.
Wait, the dragon?
The Dragon King's decapitated head screams, "Pain will come," in Draconic, and then bursts into flames.
Have the weapon attacks that have hit the dragon undead thing, have they done as much damage as we expected?
Mm-hmm.
So there doesn't appear to be any resistance.
Right, I know you're asking. Yeah. Doesn't seem to be. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Although the fire, he took no damage on the fire attack.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm going to yell to Tin Can! I'm low, can you back me up? And then I run in and I'm not going to Great Weapon Master.
Okay.
I will also inspire Fate by selling
selling yourself to
by selling my by saying Snake Slayer, attack from behind, and then I'm going to make a regular attack with
Roll hit.
Ragworm. Modified 20.
That hits. What are you rolling? What are you damaging with?
Great axe.
Cool. Okay,
So slashing.
Orthanc steps forward. Great axe in hand, swings down with great force.
9 slashing damage.
Nice.
And that was my last inspiration, and I've given it to Fate.
Cool. You cut deep into the bone-like wing of this creature, and you feel some of the bones crush beneath the weight of the great axe. You actually see a look of like sadness on its face as it looks up.
I just growl angrily at it.
Cool. Okay, Arkyan, you're up.
As I see that look of sadness on its face,
Yeah.
I want to see if I can go back into its mind.
Roll Arkyan.
8.
No, unfortunately.
Alright, then I'll stabby with dagger of Vampiric Touch.
That would probably be action to try and get him to it. You do have a bonus action?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't. I'll move back 30 feet.
Okay, sorry about that. That's how it would play. Gorstag.
I'm going to go and step up next to Orthanc. There we go. And I will cast Cure Wounds on him.
Cool.
Which will hopefully go better than the last time I tried it.
Orthanc puts his hand. No, sorry. Gorstag puts his hand near Orthanc and you feel this warmth.
Slightly, so that's an 8. That's 8 healing for you.
Shit, nice.
As you just feel stronger, your blood boils.
Just looking at him, how damaged do you look right now?
I'm 3/4 of the way dead.
Okay. In that case,
sorry. Let me just be clear. As part of metagaming, you can't give your exact hit points, and you can't say something like, "Out of how you feeling? Out of like 30, I'm about 19. You can say I'm bleeding or
So you still look
I'm
like
bleeding heavily. I'm
still
standing.
Alright,
and I'm pissed.
then I'm going to use a bonus action to cast Healing Word as well.
Nice.
Oh, thank you.
Which is 1d4 plus my spell casting.
Just plus a wisdom modifier. Yeah.
I always get more because I'm a life cleric, so that's plus. So it's another teeny healing actually. So
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Gorstag takes a few steps forward and puts each hand on your shoulder and just stares into your eyes. You notice that his irises glow yellow with like runic symbols for a second. You feel Pelor shining like from behind you, right through your own being, through your hands and into Orthanc as he just feels this rush and
That's the stuff.
yeah, nice. Is that your turn?
That is my action. My turn.
You want to make a dex save?
Oh my god, I can't.
Fate has inspiration.
Okay.
I'm going to use my Ring of Light and burn it and just try not to get an advantage on this one. Which was fucking useless, so goodbye Ring of Light.
So, anyone that rolled under 13
14 just.
takes 25 points of fire damage.
I got 16.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
Everyone else takes 13.
25, yeah.
I am unconscious.
I'm unconscious too.
Oh boy!
This rip of fire emanates through your wall. When it clears, you just see Gorstag hit the ground. Jinx backwards, hit the ground. Dain rushes forward. He's going to try and heal you. How many? He's only got like 5 left. He heals you for 5.
Oh, so he goes unconscious?
Oh, no, Dain uses a spell that he only has like a certain number of points that he can give out at any one time.
Yeah.
He's already given out 20.
Yeah.
And he's only got about 5 left.
Oh, okay.
So he heals
I
you.
thought you meant he had 5
Yeah, I get you.
Right, no,
Yeah,
so
cool. Alright, cool. Then
he
I am
heals you
back
for-
up and awake. Thank you very much.
Dain like just power slides towards you. He just runs on his knees, puts his hand and you just awake with a sudden pulse. Fate took a decent amount of damage, but made the save, so it's probably fine. Going to loose an arrow at the wormling.
Has inspiration.
That's going to hit anyway.
You can use it for damage.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. So that is 6. And how does inspiration work on damage?
Just add a die 6.
That's 6. Cool. Ooh, nice. Right. Arrow sinks true. Yes. Wait. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool.
Have we ever...
Into the heart of the wormling. Shiver runs and bats at her with its claw. 4 cannot hit a goddamn thing. Jinx,
I'm unconscious.
I need you to make a death save.
So I've never done one of these before.
So 10 and above.
I think it's 11.
11 and above.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 successes and 3 failures.
Yeah.
11 and above is 1 pointed success.
Yeah.
10 and below is a failure. If you roll a nat 1, that counts as an instant 2 failures. If you roll a nat 20, that counts as an instant 2.
19.
Cool, so put down 1 successful save. If you make 3 of those, you become stable and awaken with 1 hit point, I do believe.
If you take damage, you also immediately fail
Suffer.
2 saves.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
At this point, dead. Well, thank you're up.
Okay, I will first use a bonus action to cast Healing Word at 2nd level.
Mm-hmm.
Get up!
Nice.
5 plus 2, 7.
Cool.
Sure.
The roar of your leader's words awaken you from your slumber.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Just was asleep.
If you touch my ale, I'll put you back!
What's with you in the sail?
Don't fucking touch my ale!
touch your ale!
And then I'm gonna be dumb again and Great Weapon Master the
Roll to hit.
Drago thing. 15?
It does not hit.
Fuck.
Unfortunately. Very close though. You don't have like inspiration or anything?
I can't inspire myself.
Right, okay. Is
How about
that your turn?
back? There's no...
And you can inspire everyone around you, so
Yeah, that's very selfless. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's
Arkyan, you're up.
How rough is the dragon looking?
Pretty ready.
Has anyone in this party ever received any health potions?
Not to my knowledge.
No? Alright.
In my backstory, do I have anything?
You're actually an alchemist?
Oh, okay.
20 fatness.
Oh, do you guys need these?
You guys have
You grew up in a health potion factory.
Yeah.
My dad was the manager, you know.
Yeah. Your mother was just a health potion.
Yeah.
No, they've never asked for one, nor have they ever got
Alright.
one.
Fuck it. I'm gonna charge in.
Okay.
Dagger.
Roll down.
16.
Just hits. Roll damage.
Alright. So Dagger of Vampiric Touch was
Yes.
D4 for damage,
Mhm.
3d6 necrotic,
Mhm.
and then I get back.
Is it 3d6 or 2d6?
It was 3d6.
Okay.
Very specifically because everyone was like, "What the fuck?" Right. So that is 3 damage for the first hit.
Okay.
D6.
Thank you.
And it takes. Yep.
I think it makes a save.
Yeah, it makes a con save. Which is +3. That's only an 8. So no, it fails its con save, which means its maximum hit points get reduced by the same amount of necrotic damage that it took.
Alright. But does it also take that damage?
Yeah.
Alright, and I get half that HP back.
No, that's life drain. Vampiric Touch is the one that lowers its... So, no. Vampiric Touch is the one that, yes, you get half those hit points back. Yeah, sorry, I got confused with life drain. So how much necrotic damage did it take?
8.
8, alright.
Cool. So I get 4 HP back.
Yep.
And then burn my last sorcery points.
Yep.
Magic missile to the face. Oh, it also takes 1 extra damage.
Yep.
For my thorn crown.
Okay. Yep.
And I forgot to add that on my last magic missile, but that's
unfortunately
fine.
We can't do.
It's way too late for that.
Cool.
Cool. And then my new magic missile. 10, 11.
Okay. So Arkyan rushes forward, pulls out his dagger, which is beautifully jagged and well fine crafted. There's even a few dark purple runic symbols inlaid in the blade, and the handle itself, I believe, is dragon bone, if I'm not mistaken. And you reach forward and just plunge it into the back of this wormling. And as you guys see this, you see this like white light emanate from where the wound hits. It shines really brightly, and there's like this horrible black smoke that emanates as the wormling just. And you can see Arkyan's hand and skin just pulse right up his arm. And you gain half those hit points, and as you rinse the dagger free, the woman just looks at you and
nice.
Dead. You're out of combat.
Alright. Nice. Does that mean I never burned my last sorcery points? For that last spell?
No, you needed the magic missile to...
Oh, the magic missile.
I put that in there, and then you decimate his body with.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright. Cool.
So you guys find yourself in a courtyard. Okay, right. You've spent too much time around fate, right?
Well, fate's not here, so I could be the first one for once.
Roll investigation.
Just so we're keeping track of it, are you going to say total XP at the end of the thing, or should we keep going track it as we go?
I will give you the XP now, because it's going to be easier.
Just here.
Alright.
So.
That'll be it. Luck. And with the luck, that is a nat 20.
Okay, alright, I will get to that in one sec. So, for... I might as well do this now, right? Okay, so for that, how many players do we have at the moment? How many took part in the fight?
7.
Yep.
Or do I count? I don't know.
Yeah, so you'll get 157 XP.
How much
the
do I start on?
It's a good question. Level 3 is...
Oh, wait, no.
Like, did we ever get XP at the end of the last games?
You should have.
You never gave it to us?
No.
So I'm still at 35.
Wait, there was no combat in the last one. I gave you story element stuff. I'm sure I gave you the story element stuff.
So anyway, how much was that?
Shit, I cleared the
157.
Yeah, 157 XP each for that one, and then there was, of course, the other dude who... What page was he on? Looking up in the book. And... and 257 for the other dude.
257.
Yeah.
Wait, so
157 for the first dude and 257 for the second dude. Those guys were both pretty tough, and
fuck you, Jinx.
That's 4 from second in total.
What? What did I do?
It's come out of nowhere.
Yeah, I was here the whole time. You guys just ignored me.
So you now stand.
How do you think that made me feel?
You stand around the charred remains of the Dragonkin, the twisted, tortured, skeletal form of the dragon wormling, the Draco Lich wormling. The sky seems suddenly unassuming, but still complete black. There's no stars shining through, and there's a darkness that's not cloud. However, the night returns to an almost calm after this battle that raged and nearly killed some of you. What is left is a courtyard, 60 feet across, surrounded in very tall steel walls. What are you guys doing? Yeah, I'm just about to do that. Yeah.
I take the dragonkin's head and I just hold it by the horns.
Nice.
At my side.
Its tongue like lolls. And its eyes like half open.
It's not talking anymore?
No, but it's badly burnt.
That's good.
I'm going to be...
I walk up to that and start playing with his mouth and maybe pretend it's talking.
I'm going to begin a prayer of healing while we're here.
Cool.
It takes 10 minutes, so I won't roll until we actually make sure that finishes.
Okay.
Some wishful thinking right there.
Yeah.
It's an oddly calm night. You do hear the flutter of wings.
Big wings?
No, small wing.
I'm a stupid dragon thing.
You're all gonna die.
Oh no, I didn't mean that. Alright, so what are we doing now, boss?
We have to get off this fucking island.
Can I go?
Yeah, we need to get out of here. I think we should burn the fire leaf as we go out.
Why?
Because while they were resurrecting the dragon, all the fire leaves came together and formed this crazy pattern. And when Shiver asked the Dragonborn if he could have some fire leaf, he said that every leaf on this island was in exactly the place that it should be. I think that they might be focusing their power through the fire leaf somehow, and that the pattern is what actually focuses their power into this.
That's clever thinking.
So if we could just burn a swath through the forest, maybe it will stop whatever it is
We don't
that the fire
actually.
leaf does for them.
We don't actually know if this has stopped the calling of every creature to this island as well. We should check out
What
the
should we
giant
do,
dragon
boss?
stuff. Are we still in like a room that's just like smooth walls with no visible exit?
Yeah, it's a courtyard. Yep, just walls that go about 100 feet into the sky.
Fuck.
So essentially, Arkyan, as he's like going through the robes of what's charred but remains with an investigation roll that high, pulls out a jar about this big, and inside the jar is just this flickering fire.
So what do you mean with it will fill 15 feet randomly?
So you would throw it, and it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you roll, and then whichever squares you roll would ignite. So essentially, you throw it, and there's like and then around it in a 15-foot cube.
Yeah.
Each one of those
Okay,
cubes
so
has
it's
a
not like
value.
I throw it in that direction and randomly somewhere goes on fire.
No.
Yeah,
Wherever
you run in the direction you ground starts lighting on fire.
Yeah, so wherever it lands, it'll ignite a couple of squares near it.
Cool. And then roll each round, see if the fire stays. Cool.
Yeah.
We need to find a way to get out.
I agree, boss.
You're a sneaky type. You've been hiding on my ship for what, months now? You find
You
us a way
hired
out.
me.
I was very drunk at the time. Can you scout around, see if there's a way for us to get out?
Okay. Scout around.
Roll investigation.
It's 18 plus what? Investigation 19.
Okay, so the walls themselves are completely solid, no doors. They go up for about 70 feet. At the top there are quite horrible jagged edges. You'd imagine that it wouldn't be impossible to climb, but certainly wouldn't be easy. If you could somehow get to the top, you have to navigate the razor sharp edges.
Okay. So after that, I'll come back and explain it all in this voice while I'm playing with the mouth.
I hold it higher so that you can't.
Do you want the report or not, boss?
I want to carve out one of the wormling's canines.
Okay.
I don't have many
Just
pleasures
straight,
in life. This is one
Yeah,
of you.
wrench that tooth free.
Yes. I'm a pirate.
Can I assume it's been 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Cool.
That is a 7.
Cool. No, it's...
Hey, Dain / Gorstag. / someone who, or hey, you, Orthanc. Sir, would you be able to help me with this perhaps?
What do you need done?
I want you
everyone
to
heals
try
for
and...
16, by the way.
Alright, thank
Heal
you.
16.
Yep.
Nice. Thank you.
I would like you to assist me in tearing out this dragon's tooth.
I walk over and I rip it out.
Roll strength.
Okay.
I'll have some guidance as well. Why not?
6.
It's...
I see him struggle and I'm like, boss, this is how you do it.
Holy fuck.
That's a minus 1 too, so it's 11.
The halfling gets the tooth.
Thank you,
I'll
Halfling.
send it for you.
No problem.
So one red dragon, very large tooth.
Not huge, it's a wormling. It's about that big.
Is it bigger than Syndrexia's tooth?
No, God no.
No?
Drexia was massive.
Oh, lame. Alright.
It's sharp.
But it's the biggest one in its mouth
Yeah,
though, right?
yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Seeing as it doesn't look like
there is a plan behind this.
Yeah.
I'm not just collecting tea.
Okay.
So when the Dragon King guy burned up, did all his material effects go as well?
What was only left was the jar of fire that Arkyan found.
Alright, cool.
Roll investigation.
That is a 12.
Gorstag goes over to the body of the dragonkin and notices that some of the flesh is still burning and incinerating, kind of decomposing. But you can see as it burns and as those little embers glow, they're not just glowing randomly, they're glowing in formation of runic symbols, the same ones you saw on the fireleaf, as that's kind of eating away. It's almost like the code from the Matrix, but in embers in the skin. As it kind of calculates and burns away, you can see all the shifting runic symbols as it does.
I presume they don't really mean much to me beyond having recognised them in the first before. Cool.
Are they draconic?
Yes.
Hey, okay.
Hey,
come check this shit out.
Cool. I take a look at the runes.
Cool. I need you to roll history with disadvantage. This is a very old form of draconic.
Alright. History with disadvantage? That is a 14.
Nice.
Oh.
So they're essentially symbols of the power words. The only one that you know the name of is Ta. T-A.
Sorry, symbols of the what
The
words?
power words.
The power words.
Which were full throw da, essentially.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah.
Cool.
But Ta is the only word that you recognize.
And what does that word mean?
T-A. It means rebirth.
Cool. The robes itself, are they still in like relatively good condition?
No, bad condition. In fact, they're still burning away.
Right, so the runes here, the only one I recognize means rebirth, which is obviously not a good idea, seeing as or not anything good, seeing as the decapitated head was talking to us, and there's all draconic runes emblazoned on his clothes that say rebirth.
I'm no expert, but this sticks with necromancy.
Yeah. So the runes itself, are they like moving through the cloth? Or is it just like that one pattern that's there?
So essentially what you see is a person being eaten alive by the embers that slowly burn. If you imagine taking someone with a lot of hair and lighting it on fire and it kind of singes like that, that's what's happening to its whole body. But as those parts, and it's not going to last much longer. Soon it's going to be completely consumed.
Is there an origin from these runes? Like, can we see them specifically coming from a part of his body and it's spreading, or is it like a seal or a rune on him that it's...
It just seems to be as it eats him, his flesh seems to arrange itself in the runes.
The walls are made out of metal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to cut an area where the runes are currently doing something.
Okay, cool. You just dig your dagger. And your dagger starts heating up as it touches the runes. But nothing else seems to happen.
Yeah. I'll go, hey Fate, here, have your dagger back. And they give her back the dagger.
Anyone have another 50 feet of rope?
Not I.
Do I?
Yes.
I have rope. So this is not really enough.
Yeah, no, you would, because it's starting equipment.
Yeah.
I have
rope.
Nice. Okay. I have a hammer, pythons, and 50 feet of rope. So I'm gonna start climbing and nailing some pythons in.
Oh, can I have some of your wine?
Roll
So your ale?
No.
But I've got the rope.
No. I need you sober. Look, if you can hide that well on my ship, then imagine the things you can do. Look, just don't touch the ale. When we get back to the mainland, you can have all the ale you want, okay?
Can I have my rope back?
After this, sure.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, I need you to roll, let's say, dexterity to get the thing... nailing it into the steel wall.
Oh, it's steel. Oh,
it's
shit.
Solid steel.
Okay, I'll just tie 100 feet of rope around myself and... Holy shit, is it like smooth?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I can climb that.
So
I walk up to the
is
wall
that the
with
only
rope
way out of
and look stupid.
you can
Looks
throw
like
me.
How about this? I can levitate you to the top.
Yeah? Okay, I don't know what I can do up there. There's nothing really to tie the rope to, though.
It's only because I don't want to go up there by myself.
With levitate, what kind of weight can you lift?
500 pounds, I think.
It's a lot, eh?
Sweet, that's all good.
Yeah, we can...
I think it's just like one humanoid, no matter the weight or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
Okay, I'm...
So the top of these walls, essentially, it goes up for quite a while as solid, and then you've got kind of like these hooks that come down with like these little thorns, and that kind of goes jagged like that. So you've got kind of like metal talon claws at the top that dig downwards.
Do we know if the walls are just these spikes, or is there like a walking space on the top as well?
No walking space.
So it's just wall straight over to the other side.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Alright. So you move 20 feet every time on one of my turns, but you can't move sideways, so you have to like
I have to
hold on to the wall and clamber yourself across while I lift you.
That's. Oh, fuck.
Oh, there's no way out, so we might as well just wait for them to come and arrive. See what they have to say.
Sit in a death trap?
I mean, we killed their leader and a dragon. Like, they're probably going to be pretty impressed, right?
Well, I would be.
5 experience points.
Oh wait, we on the way here we know that there's just like another wall beyond this one, right? Okay, so we have
Like, we're in the middle of fucking Dragon City. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way out.
As you were coming through the walls into this area, it wasn't like it was just circle after circle after circle. It was a metropolis of...
So you remember how I very specifically said I'm remembering the exact way out, and I rolled quite a high intelligence roll on that.
Yes, but
What's the way out?
so that was once you landed on the island.
Nah, that was the entire time I was here. The idea was I know my way out,
Then-
because otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, I do believe you rolled a 16.
Yeah, something
Yes.
like that.
It was a 16.
Yeah, alright.
I was watching it earlier. Yeah, if you got over the wall, you would have a damn good chance of getting out of it.
Okay.
Alright, levitate. Boom,
Yeah.
done.
I grab Jinx by the scruff of the neck and start meditating them.
Okay.
With the rope, I assume. That's
Um,
tied together. Because then we can climb up after you manage to tie it to something.
We do have quite a lot of ropes.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Okay, so Orthanc starts being lifted up, and it's that familiar sensation of being on a boat as you kind of stabilize as you're coming to the top. As you get over...
Are you still holding the little thing?
The head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just this rising deep thing.
As you get to the point where you can see over the wall, it's pretty much one of the highest walls in this area, so you can now see all over all the walls, and it's a labyrinth of snaking paths, and you notice watching from 200 or so feet, every so often just dotted, you can see little hooded figures just wandering through the darknesses.
Just doing their own thing.
Yeah, seemingly.
Okay.
Atop, at this height, you can see the jagged edges of this, the top of this wall. Not a friendly place to climb for sure. And after some time looking over here, you can see the forest that adorn the outside of the Talon Isles.
Right.
And you can see your ship as well.
Okay. I have an idea, Jinx. I
Alright, boss.
hand you my grappling hook and my 50 feet of rope, and yours back.
Okay.
And I put the grappling hook on the top of the wall, tell you to tie the rope together and climb down the other side, and then I plan to levitate someone else back up to it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Make some dexterity.
Make dexterity.
I don't know why that's okay.
That's. Do I add my proficiency to that, or that? Was that straight dex?
Just straight dex.
13.
4 points of piercing damage as you try and navigate the top of this wall.
Ow!
That's halved from 8 because you're wrong.
No.
But yeah, essentially, it's real difficult to navigate this kind of thing and kind of just pierce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, what's the top of the wall made of? Like
Steel.
spikes.
It's all steel, yeah. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
kind of like hands of thorns, kind of come down at every so point and just blossom off into thorn.
Alright.
Sharp, very sharp.
When I guess I have to wait for you to lower me back down so I can grab someone else and go back up.
Oh, I do it. I'm just
Yeah.
constantly doing that.
As you guys are doing that, you hear a chanting in Draconic as the drum beat gets louder and more primal.
Did you actually lower the rope down on this side as well?
No, I only lowered it down on the other side just so that we could pick people up and then they could climb down as the next person's coming up.
We have enough rope for someone to try and climb up at the same time.
I can do that as well.
Alright. Please hang a rope down the next time you're up.
I'm not very intelligent, I'll tell you that now.
Cool, so who are you taking up with you next?
You're
I'll
the
stay
caster.
here to levitate people.
Okay, Gorstag.
Cool. But if I take any damage, my concentration might break.
Right.
So I'll stay down here until... we
Once
can
you get to the top of the wall, make a dex save.
13.
3 points of piercing. As you bring each person up, they each make a dex save.
Okay.
and take a couple of points of piercing damage as they get over the wall. But eventually, you make it to the other side of the wall. Now you find yourself in a channel of street, maybe 20 feet wide, and there's fire leaf trees every 15 feet, spaced out perfectly along. You can either go left or right.
I walk up to one of the trees and start hacking it down.
Ooh, okay, roll some strength.
Fireball's a different one.
Okay, nice. Alright, roll strength and...
I'm going to tear a single leaf off.
Okay.
Net 20.
Nice.
9.
Okay. So Arkyan just... jet of flame emanates from his hand, and this tree just up like a Christmas tree. The smoke gets dark and black and acrid, and it just is consumed. Orthanc, you bring a sword and the sword nearly cracks in half as this tree is powerful. As you watch the leaves like burn and the tree die, there's this tendrils of fire that come from its base and scatter out like a spider web. These channels of fire that go over the walls and out and around you guys. They just spread out. These lines of fire, perfectly spaced, little patterns of diamonds. And you hear, as that fire stretches, and you hear screaming from the other side, this draconic voice. And it just says, "Bring him back! Bring him back! Bring him back!" Now you can hear the entire island starts from different parts of the island. You just hear this chanting that just gets faster and louder. "Bring him back! Bring him back!" And draconic.
Alright. Shiver, if you still want to grab your samples, now is the time.
Cool. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'd say that'd be fine. Manages to get a couple of fire leaf quickly and puts it away. As he does it, you can see it starts burning the pouch that he puts it in. A little bit of smoke comes out. These leaves are actually hot to the touch. You're now surrounded by the primal drum beat and just the chanting, "Bring him back."
Which way?
Which way?
Cool. Roll. Just roll intelligence. I just want to see.
That is an 18.
Arkyan's mind just goes, and you go through all the channels, and you're all the dimensional, and I'm back to right, and you guys head off right. After a while, you make it through a couple of streets, and you're getting close to the edge of this metropolis of the walls. But as you near a corner and come round, in between you and essentially the forest, 5 dragonkin hooded, and I need you guys to make stealth. Only Arkyan at this point, but the rest of you roll as well.
16.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nat 20, but I have disadvantage, so that's still an 18.
That is
19.
That is 11.
Sorry guys, net 1.
Oh shit.
You're just like...
Gorstag!
I tripped and pushed over like yeah.
Gorstag comes around the corner. Fucking hide, guys! They see you.
Right, as the Dragonborn see us, I ready more fireballs, and I aim my hands at the trees, and I go, "Let us go, or we burn this island to the ground."
Okay. And your hand glows. You put it towards the tree. Speak your words.
You come. Speak.
What?
Come. Speak.
He wants you to speak with him.
I take a step forward, but I'm still keeping my hand very distinctly aimed at the fire leaves.
Cool. The guy takes his hood down. You notice that his face is an exact image of the head that you're holding.
I hold it up and look at it and look back and look at it.
The other dragon can take their hoods, and it's the exact same face.
That's fucking weird.
They turn and they all say in unison.
Is this just going to be massively racist and we can't do it apart? Or?
No, this is the exact same person, essentially. And they all speak in unison.
You want answers. Yes.
I think it's a bit late for that now, my little scaled friend. We came here for answers, information, and the possibility of peace and truce between us. I think your actions have fully thrown that out the window. Speak as much as you want. Give me the information we need.
I need something from you. I need information. You say the Great Ones have awoken. We felt this in the east. And then one of us, one of the powerful ones, died. I need to know why.
I look at the head that he's holding up. You mean this one?
No. Not that one.
And they all start chanting.
We are one. We are one. We are one.
And it stops.
What information do you seek? Ask your question and let us be on our way.
Why have they awoken the dragon again?
Who's they?
Somewhere in the east, the doors opened.
As far as we were aware, you are the only people that have anything to do with dragons at the moment. We were just on the continent minding our business and got sent here to find out about dragons. That's all we know.
Do I know anything for the sake of story?
No.
Okay.
Same way Isgrim doesn't know anything.
Oh god, yeah.
Okay.
Well, should we be on our way?
Something tells me it's not that easy.
I think it might be.
I give you the head to hold. Arkyan, ask them what they want with the dragons. If they find out why they come back, what do they want with them?
I pose the question.
We want to be one again. We want the great power. I ask something of you. You give me this. I let you all live.
Ask your pittance.
You return and say you found nothing on this island. That's all.
Why should we do this for you?
Because if you don't, you'll never find why.
Why what? You speak in riddles, but you give us no information. You seek the dragons for your own power, but do not tell us why. You ask us where the dragons are coming from, which is something we do not know. You have to understand, we are simply a group of travelers sent here under the word of our king to see what's going on this island. That is all the information we have.
He takes a few steps forward and gets about 5 feet from you.
Yeah.
The power you hold could not be without the dragon. The forging of magic powers. The melting of steel with dragon fire make powerful artifacts.
And he pokes your eye.
Dragon forged. Without us, you would be nothing.
It seems to me without the dragons you would be nothing as well.
We are one.
With
You live, but say nothing.
Oh.
I'm in the back. I'm just a little guy holding a weird head.
We will be watching.
Is there a reason that you guys all look the same? You keep saying you are one.
We are.
Do you have one mind?
Yes.
Well, at least that's some information. Now, the dragons you seek, do you seek to become one with them once again?
Yes.
Cool.
Are you still translating all of this?
I've been translating the whole time.
Okay. Arkyan, can you ask them, does one mean like this guy, and I point to the head, destroying everything else and cleaning the earth?
I asked that.
We are fire. I will fuck you up.
I put it down.
Awesome.
We are fire. The four great power. The world magic. Fire, air, earth, water. We are one. But we are incomplete. We let you live. We let you live. But we be watching through the eye. You speak of us, and all shall burn.
To be honest, I don't think you have much of a choice anymore. And I walk past him.
Arkyan wanders off beyond the Dragonkin.
I'll follow him towards the forest.
Gorstag walks past as well.
I walk right up to the guy who's talking to us, stare down at him, indicate back at the head, and then walk off after Arkyan.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the head and like about to do it, and they're like, no, walk on. Walk with boss man.
You guys wander under the starless sky. Do any of you look back?
Nah, I put my sunglasses on so it explodes behind me.
I look back to make sure Fate and Shiver and all that.
Yeah, they're walking with you guys.
Okay, yeah.
So,
While he's looking back for Fade and Shiver, does he see anything?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
you see them watching intently with eyes that glow red and runic. But they let you leave, and eventually you make it back to the ship.
We'd have to make it to the top of the cliff.
And I think, is it racist to think they all do look the same?
Not at this point.
Oh, okay.
The sea is quiet and still. A fair, clear night. The sounds of the forest kind of scatter. You can hear the odd bird song or...
I say extremely loudly. I can't wait to tell Throm and Ashback all about this. But first, I want to make a perception check around me to see if there's any of them around.
Yep.
Then I say that, and I want to see if they are listening through my eye somehow.
Roll perception.
Yeah.
My players, man.
That's a nat one. But I will use my last luck of the day for that,
Okay.
and that is a 13.
You hear nothing. As you turn, you see the glowing red eyes in numerosity staring back at you from various parts of the island.
Interesting.
So it's late night?
Yeah.
Did we sail away from the island, or?
No, you guys have just
Just
arrived. You're not even
resting.
on the boat yet. You've just hit the
We're
dock.
in the forest, right?
So we'd have to get into the rowboat, row back to the island, get onto the ship, and head back. How high are we on the cliff?
Oh, it's a massive cliff. It's like, I don't know, 80 feet.
I'm
Which
just
should be 8d6 of damage
Yeah,
if you
that's
want
what I'm thinking and calculating it in my mind.
I'm just excited to be finally recognised.
Yeah.
Is there another way down other than the cliff that we can see?
There were the two...
It was a rope ladder, wasn't it?
No, it was one of the Dragonkin had used some kind of druidic magic or had some way of channeling druidic power to create a ladder out of druidcraft, and then Shiver had created his own ladder as well next to that, just to make a point of not climbing their one. Because you guys are badass.
Are they both there?
Yeah, that's all there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Start climbing again?
Yeah.
Cool. As you guys like climb down, eventually you get into the rowboat, and it kind of like shakes each time one of you gets into it. And as you start rowing away from the island, you just see lined up across the edge all these different red eyes, well, the same red eyes, staring at you from beneath hoods, completely silent, completely just watching. As eventually you just push off, and in a kind of suspicious and rather unsettled air, the island gets smaller and smaller as you make it back to one of the outlying islands.
I make a spectral blue mage hand and I wave at them.
Fuck it, make a dex save.
That was a 7, but it was not an intentional roll.
What do you mean it wasn't intentional?
It fell out my hand while I was rolling, so I'll take it. But
You were in the
go on, just
action
hit
of
me.
rolling.
Just hit me, Ollie. I know you want to.
Yeah.
I know you want to.
Even I can't forgive that. It's like this. Oh, that wasn't intentional.
It was literally
that. 24 points of fire damage.
24 points of fire damage. Shit, what did you hit me with?
Fireball.
Does that mean like our entire ship goes down? And everyone around me takes fire damage as well?
Were we still in the robot or the actual ship?
Yeah, let's just doom us all away.
I'm pretty sure we are all just dead.
You'd made it to the island, I think.
Yeah.
You think? Or you know? You're the DM, you know.
I know, it's a tough one, because I just want to fuck you over for that.
Alright, well, I get hit by a fireball and go down in blaze. And I'm now unconscious.
Making a sleeping on the job, eh? And I kick him.
It kind of was your fault because you're being a smart ass.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to see how much, like, what would actually happen or not.
I'm not healing, but I will put Spear the Dying on you so you don't die. Alright, it stabilizes you. So
what, I just come back to 1 HP?
I assume it just comes back to 1 HP since we're not
Yeah. Back to 1 HP.
Cool. I whispered to him, boss, these guys are idiots.
Being paid very well.
Oh, that's right. These guys are very smart. I like how he nearly died and sunk us.
At least I almost died once, not like 4 times in the last half an hour.
Did you like it how I actually did damage to the thing? And then, yeah.
You did good, lad.
Thank you.
Okay. After that, I'm sorry, I had to do it. I had to attack.
Yeah, you're being smart. You deserved it.
That's why I was calculating like how much HP I would have left before I started being smart.
Right.
But I didn't expect like that much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean.
Cool.
Yeah. So essentially, they're lower HP, lower AC creatures, but high damage.
Yeah.
Don't poke the dragon.
Yeah. Don't
unless
poke
you.
the dragon.
You've got to get better.
So. Back to the ship. Back on the ship. Orthanc. Slight problem is that there are no stars to navigate by.
What is my role in the ship?
I have a compass, so if we know which direction.
Can he be the navigator with the star tracks?
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah.
That would be very.
That's the reason no one saw him. Because
Yeah.
always the
Excellent.
president.
Yeah.
Well, I'm bequeathing my compass, which is it's kind of surprising that the ship doesn't have one already. I'll give them my compass so we can use that to navigate in the general direction of
General
home.
direction. Yeah. Cool. Sorry.
You've been watching How I Met Your Mother way too much.
I know. I watched all 5 seasons.
And the lore of the story, the reason why we don't have a compass is because I lost it.
Right.
Why he's so good at navigating by the stars.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm gonna lose my job.
I make it up, really.
It does sound kind of familiar, actually.
Should we rest overnight and then travel in the morning when everyone's not dying and things?
That's
Not
probably a
dying.
good idea.
Can we not wave at things anymore?
I can totally sleep on the ship though, can't I?
If we're not disturbed for 8 hours, yes. There were whirlpools on the way here.
Yeah. I reckon resting before starting off is probably a good idea.
It does leave us within their range after just antagonizing them.
That's a very good point as well.
Well, it gives us a chance to see if they actually just want to try and kill us as well, which
Yeah.
I'm for.
Why don't we just keep moving though? So we just sail in a particular direction for 8 later.
Do
and
laps
come
around
over
the island.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to keep moving, just in case.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea actually.
Okay.
Alright, well if you want to steer the ship, then I'll take a...
What's the
8
ship?
hour
I'm a
nap.
navigator. I'm not a driver.
Yeah, I'm sure there's other people on the stuff you can steer it. So you guys
It's
I
fine.
tell people where to go. I don't actually drive this damn thing.
There are 4 other crew members on board.
Oh, okay.
Because there were 5 to start with.
Yo, Steven, can you drive?
One
tell you where to go.
One of the younger,
Stefan, can you drive?
slightly more adolescent, a bit weedy crew members sees this chance, and you can see his eyes swell with the concept of, I can be the captain. And he asks if he can wear the captain's hat.
No.
No. You go, oh, shit. Okay.
absolutely.
He then tries to bark some orders at some of the other crew members. Like, hey, go clean the decks! And they don't fucking listen. Because they all turn to you and go like, should we?
I chuckle and drink some ale and then point at him and go, yeah, do what he says.
So they start doing what the guy says, who just swells with pride as he goes up to the wheel of the ship and starts, like, visibly not strong enough to actually do this well, but just
Can
puts his
I
foot
at that point, while it's him stroking, just pick him up, throw him off so I can drive?
into the ocean?
Well, he's obviously just...
You mean off the, like...
Off
Wing
the boat.
him,
You
right?
want to throw a poor crew...
Fine, you guilt me out of it. I push him out of the way and I just drive, even though I don't like doing it.
Okay. You make your way...
Because I'm a navigator, I know where I'm going.
So it's like a 2-day journey. You start off on this journey back towards Ukast and from Ashback to relay the information that you've gathered.
So
See,
long rest?
if you want to. Yes, long rest, hit points, and spell slots.
Do you want to go break it?
Yeah, let's do a break.
And sorcerer points and luck.
And sorcerer points and luck. Yes.
And inspiration.
Yeah. But
Cool.
It feels good.
So we will take a 10-minute break because we need to refresh our drinks and whatnot. The party goes back to Ukast with a decision to make. Do they tell from an Ashback with the task that they've been charged with from him, or do they keep their mouths silent as per the request of the Dragonkin? We will find out in about 10 minutes when we return. Stefan, anything? Are the people in chat? Are we just going to say hi to some people?
My name's Dave.
Dave?
No, just people are talking. Dragonator there, but no new followers.
Oh, that's cool. Dragonator, hey man, how's it going? Is Leonard in the chat?
Of course.
Of course. Hey guys, Dragonator, Leonard, love you guys. Leonard, just thanks again for your donation, man.
Don't waste them.
Never roll like when you're not actually rolling because you're always hitting that 20. Yeah, Leonard, Dragonator, hey guys, how's it going? We'll be back in 10 minutes, so yeah, go refresh your drinks. And thanks for the donation. You're a legend. And he says,
No.
What's
If I'm here, you can't do the joke.
Oh, how ironic is that? Add member. Suggested people. Oliver Probert right at the top.
Don't give my name out on
Your
stream.
name's going to be on the podcast now.
Oh, okay, fuck it.
I didn't realize we were live.
Yeah, we're live. Yeah,
So that's his alias, guys?
yeah, that's not my
He
name.
tries to do this joke every time you do it.
Yeah.
The aristocrat joke. So I won't
Just the
do that.
punchline for the aristocrats joke. Oh, man.
There's going to be one day a t-shirt
Yeah.
of you doing the joke and me just saying, no!
Welcome back, Leonard Dragonator. How you guys doing? Good to see you back again. This episode is dedicated to Leonard for his awesome, massive $70 donation to our stream, so we can get that battle cam, which will hopefully be next week or at the very least the week after that, at the very latest. And Dragonator, hey man, how's it going? Good to see you. Welcome to Black Winter Nights. So, the party makes their way back towards Ucast on the ship. The sky has, as you guys have woken, returned to normalcy, seemingly. At least you can see clouds and sky and sun and such. It's quite a nice day. You guys are lilting along the ocean, softly drifting. There's not a huge amount of wind, so you guys are not travelling too quickly, but it's a clear, nice, bright day. You've regained spell slots and hit points and all that kind of thing. And you head towards Ucast. Is there anything you guys are doing during the journey?
I hit a boss up again. Can I have some ale now?
When we're on land, all the ale you want.
Look, you hired alcoholics. What did you expect to
I didn't choose alcoholics. That was.
You put in the ad, it must like ale.
That's how he keeps you under control.
Throman has a special program to try and, believe it or not, clean up some of the rogue acts of alcoholism in the streets. One of them was to send them off onto the sea. I was very lucky to keep my own ale under the deck, under careful lock and key, so long as no one else can touch it, and relapse.
Maybe Throman should come along himself sometime.
And I go, alright, walk away, because I am a rogue,
Yeah.
and I go and try and get the ale.
Oh boy.
Self-perception.
Oh, fuck.
You just told a rogue who can get into locks that it's a lock and key down below.
You would have had, like, weeks to try this before now.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was there.
Okay. I rolled a 1.
So what's that, stealth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 7 plus 7?
So you managed to sneak away without him noticing. I don't know how you did that, but somehow you go, look at
I go,
that.
Kissing my
okay.
ass.
However, it's a sleight of hand check to unlock it.
Okay.
This is going to end so bad.
Don't worry, I got more character.
I hope you can swim.
Well, sleight of hand? Where's
Yeah.
sleight of hand?
It's in alphabetical order.
Is it Dex? Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm not
using
using
the old
sheet.
sheet. Yeah, sorry.
18 plus 7.
Yeah.
Click. Locks.
And how much ale is in there?
Oh, there's barrels of it, I assume.
I just spend the remainder of the journey in there.
So,
Wow.
Without a
There are
navigator.
like 5 crewmates.
Well, they were busy. I'm just the navigator. I just told them where to go, and now I'm back, you know.
Okay.
Just pointed in a random direction to
Yeah, go that way.
I keep making out with my axe and then try and see if there are any fast forming clouds and things like that.
cool. Roll some perception. You guys notice that Jinx has gone somewhere. He left, but you don't know where he is. Occasionally you just hear a belch from below decks.
13.
But
When I hear a bird by a tail.
I do it stealthily. But
Yeah.
Okay, don't hear a bird.
The sky's clear. No quickly, rapidly approaching clouds. You also scan the oceans. No vortexes or anything like that.
Are all the fish still heading in the direction of the island?
Roll perception.
Oh, good thinking.
Oh, that's a good ale.
13.
No. In fact, you can see them swimming freely.
Oh, interesting.
You do notice towards the northeast a dark black shape shift behind one of the clouds.
Is it just him?
Oh, okay. Is it dragon sized?
What's your insight bonus?
+2.
You are unsure.
Hey guys, there's something flying behind the clouds over there.
It's like that thing the little one spotted on the way here. Can we tell how far? Is it like miles and miles and miles away?
Yeah, it seems quite far away. Yeah.
Is it the same direction we're travelling in, or?
Essentially, if you're traveling directly east to get back from Talon Isles, this was over this way, so northeast. Yeah.
I'm not worried. We'll keep an eye on it. But
Arkyan, can you make a wisdom save?
No. So that is a 4.
Cool. As you guys are on the ship, on the decks, enjoying yourselves, it's a fine day for sailing.
I'm really enjoying myself.
And you below decks are just knocking back ice cold ale after ice cold ale.
I'm surprised how cold it is, really.
Yeah, well, he keeps it in
in the fridge.
in the fridge.
It's like a makeshift D&D fridge.
He's actually got
There's a
like,
wizard dedicated to just holding it.
I'm like, hey.
Now we know we're against Gwen.
Everyone gets 10 experience points. Yeah, so as you guys are enjoying this lovely day, the horrors of the Talon Isles sinking far behind you as you travel back to Throm Ashback, and probably the continuation of the Festival of the Everstar, because that's like at least a week-long affair, especially in Blackwinter Castle. Arkyan, you hear in Elven words coming from 3 separate voices, and in their beautiful soliloquy describe, in fact, what you had been hearing on the Talon Isles. And you hear the sound of liquid metal being poured into moulds, and gems being cracked, scrolls
It's all in my head.
being written. Yeah, all in your head. Essentially, you hear the sound of metal striking metal, and you turn to where the sound was, and there's nothing there. It's just the side of the ship and a couple of clouds in the ocean, islands far in the distance, and you just hear it's nearly ready in Elven, and you turn, but where the voice came from, it's just Gorstag enjoying talking to Orthanc.
Cool. And the 3 necromancers from Death Dark Temple, were they Elvish?
Mhm.
They were, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
As you kind of look around, your vision just dims and dims until you only get a sense of what's around you now. It's these grey shadows on a field of black.
I hate that smile you get sometimes. It's never good.
You all die.
That's the end of the campaign. One of the solid shapes that you see is clearly an elven, well, almost what you'd say would initially be a king of some kind. Ridiculously nice fine armories with gold trim of blossoming flowers and dark plate armor, and he is talking to 2 others and hoods, but hoods that are pointed back here. They kind of come down and a point, covering their faces. And beneath the hoods, there's just these metal masks. And all you can see is the eyes, really, and the rest is just like thick plate metal. And the elven king steps forward, and he's talking to the 2 others. And elven, the powers have aligned. The awakening begins. Only a few hundred years to go, and as they're talking, you can see the Elven King just kind of and turns and looks directly at you, and just says in Elven, "But how?" And then your vision returns, and you're back on the ship as these guys are laughing and exchanging stories, and eventually you see Jinx come up from below decks, kind of. No, you guys, like real drunk, but just trying to pass it off. Can you roll performance, please?
Okay. Net 1.
Just chilling. It's like a what?
How are those star charts coming on?
The star. There's no star.
Yes, but remember you were mapping them so that we can travel by day and still know exactly where we're going.
Look,
Not just
it's
that.
very hard with no stars. I think. What's going on here?
Jinx, make a Constitution save.
Oh, what? A 2?
Jinx vomits on the side of the ship.
I thought you had your sea legs, Jinx. Are you alright?
It just feels just. There's no stars.
I grab Jinx and pull him up, and then I want to see if I can smell alcohol on him.
Okay.
As he does that,
roll.
I want to
Deception.
use prestidigitation to make him not smell like.
Oh, you bastard!
Roll insight.
I got a 4 for 6 for perception.
Do I have
Okay.
to roll anything against it?
No, so that's perception to smell. Now roll insight to see if you can tell that it's been magically done away.
11.
Roll deception.
Perception?
Deception.
Deception.
Yeah. Arcana deception.
Cool.
Oh, factory misdirection.
That is a modified 24.
What the fuck? You smell
Orthanc.
good. If you watch recently.
You smell like mouthwash.
I just went down below. I just had to clean myself. I've been through a lot. I got ignored for a long part of the journey, and then I nearly died. So I'm very distressed. Distressed?
Yes.
Distressed.
You
He
did
seems to
almost
be having like a bit of a mental breakdown. I don't think alcohol has anything to do with it.
This
No.
man's clearly, is ill. He needs to go on bed rest.
Yeah, I need to go back down and just make sure that I'm prepared for the there's no stars.
Alright, I'm with you. When the stars come out, you can come back.
Come with me, Jinx, and I lead him downstairs, and they go, show me where the storeroom is.
I love D&D.
Come with me.
Orthanc, may I interest you in this pamphlet on Paladin?
May I interest you in the abundance of the ocean? Let it embrace you.
Fair enough.
You got an alcohol downstairs, and you're the one preaching to the captain.
There is only one god that I think about, and that is Grumsh. And every day he tries to kill me, and every day he mocks me. And that is why I have one eye. And until I can find some way to kill every follower of Grumsh, that is the only god I care about. But thank you.
I love D&D so much. It's the greatest story.
You know what we call our captain? Cyclops.
Quietly. Quietly.
Well, we're walking down.
While we're down there.
Yeah.
Very quietly. You guys below decks are getting absolutely smacked. Yeah. Orthanc and Gorstag, Fate is discussing with Shiver the ways of the forest. They're kind of regaling themselves with stories. What do you guys do?
I'm manning the helm pretty much all the time.
Cool. As I'm gonna roll for it. Let's down to the dice. Uneventfully, the rest of the journey is smooth sailing until you get back to the port, the hidden port of Black Winter Castle, on the western coast of the cast.
As we are approaching the port,
Yes.
team meeting.
Yeah.
And
While we're down there, you're like, team meeting? Am I part of your team?
kind of.
Okay.
You're part of Orthanc's team, which kind of makes you part of our team, I guess.
We call him Cyclops when he's not around.
Alright. So have we decided if we are or if we are not telling Throman about this?
We have not decided yet.
I'm very much leaning towards telling him.
I think we should tell him.
Mm.
I generally don't like doing favours for people who've tried to kill me.
On the other side, the dragon that attacked this place, maybe the dragon only came to get rid of the knowledge of the Talon Isles, which we would then tell Throman.
Maybe. These dragon people had a way of communicating with all beasts. Maybe it's not an empty threat.
Actually, the dragon that attacked Blackwinter, in my vision, is that noticeably the same dragon wormling as the one we just killed?
Oh, the dragon wormling that
That I saw in my
Dragon's
vision
size.
attacking Blackwinter?
No, different.
Different one?
Yeah.
Alright.
I wink at Fate.
Okay.
Drunkenly. While everyone's around having this team meeting.
What would that be? Roll seduction? I don't know. Roll
Persuasion?
persuasion. Roll persuasion.
11.
Fate flicks her hair back and kind of smiles, like giggles. Yeah, sure.
Let's entertain a thought. Perhaps it's not an empty threat. Perhaps there is some way that they can call down the dragons if we say something.
But if we don't say anything, then we're leaving a group of people who have this ability to call down dragons on other people and not do anything about it, which does not really particularly seem like the best course of action.
No.
To be honest, do we think that Throman has means of dealing with them?
No.
No, that's a very good
Like,
point. Aside from
Throman's
us,
means
no.
of dealing
Yeah.
with things is you guys.
Yes,
So-
that's true.
What did they say? That one said something about the earth powers and the elements.
They said that he was fire, and there are also the water, the earth, and the air.
It sounded as though fire had become distant in itself. It seemed like the dragon needed to be united with the others. So maybe there's an imbalance.
I mean, so we should seek out some representatives of the other elements.
Perhaps. We don't know. I mean, if there's...
Would the Druid know anything about that?
Oh, that's yeah.
Yes.
So, Shiver.
Yes. Can I do a Shiver impersonation? No, I can't. So I'm just going to talk as.
Please try.
Okay, so.
Do it. Just commit to it.
That was it.
You're an actor. Commit.
Okay, so basically what I think is.
I so hope you're watching right now.
Alright.
Keep going.
So what I think is Throman. Right. So Throman. Okay. Seems to me that I can't keep up. It's too hard. He tells you, yes, the oldest magics in the world are the elements. They are what forged this world. They are what are the cornerstones, the pillars on which all this has been built. And certainly throughout human history, dwarven history, elven history, there's been devotion and shrines and magics tied up to the elements because they are the greatest forces. The spells of the gods, the winds and the rains and such.
Are there like corporeal representatives of the other elements? Like if these guys are the representatives of fire, are they the equivalent for water and earth and air?
Mm-hmm.
In Shiver's experience with the unending moon and such, he's never come across that before.
They could easily be other dragons.
True.
Do the Druids know of any places of extreme elemental power?
Ooh. I have to write history.
Are there any Druids
Oh,
that are so
nat
in
20.
touch with the land that they can feel that or something?
Nat 20.
That's
in
cool.
So your question specifically was?
Places of extreme elemental power.
Cool. Yeah.
Don't tell what.
The greatest points are, as far as Shiver knows, the volcano that is the core vein to the earth, to Elisia. The great storm that is somewhere in the south of Elisia. And I'm going to say that's all that Shiver knows.
Alright, and the Great Storm is not the storm.
Desert of the Impossible Storm, no.
No, okay.
This is at the point in which the world turns. There is supposedly a great chaos of elements.
So if we were to assume that the volcano you speak of is probably not a congregation of fire, seeing as we just came from there.
Right. It could be. Shiver's not sure if it would be attributed to fire or earth.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Does you know where it is?
Somewhere in the north on its own. It essentially says that there were once many islands full of villages and lands, and in the centre of these islands erupted seemingly from nowhere one day this terrible elemental force that wiped out all life within quite a massive range.
Do we know the name of these islands?
No, unfortunately.
One further question for Shiver. Why is there a balance? Do they keep each other in check, these elements?
Essentially, if you think of everything in the world as being constructed from ingredients, then all those ingredients can eventually be broken down to the core of the four elements.
Mm-hmm.
They are, wind and, fire and water creates steam. Steam creates this and this and this.
Mm-hmm.
Earth and fire creates rock, and that is part of this and this. Everything comes from the four elements.
So an imbalance would result in a
The
breakdown.
destruction of everything.
I see.
Yeah.
That's kind of important.
Think of them as being the elements as being the greatest forces on the food chains of not just the arcane, but of the world itself. And you do recall as you have this conversation about the elements, the terms world magic. The fact that the calling of creatures had been theorized to be part of the oldest magics of Elisia, the world magic.
And they were calling.
So the calling is very closely tied into the ancient elemental forces, essentially. Cool.
The magic of Elisia itself.
Yeah.
Do we tell Throman?
It's getting real hard. What else do we tell him? It's an empty island.
Yeah, we tell them there's nothing there, or I mean that's the alternative, right? I mean,
Yes, exactly.
We don't necessarily have to tell them there was nothing there. We could say we found something that leads to further information about the dragons.
The other most worrying part is we're only afraid of telling him because we're afraid of their retaliation.
Correct.
And did he specifically say he's watching us through my eye?
Yeah.
See, that is something that I'm not okay with. Perhaps we could talk to Gadzuk and see if there's a way that he can cut that tie. And then go see Throman.
It's definitely your eye.
That is what the Dragonkin told me.
That's what I said.
There are ways to block out scrying
Exactly.
and such. Being a pirate, I occasionally have
Of course.
to move a few questionable. Yeah.
I'm a pirate too. That's my input to this.
Yeah, maybe we could see about cutting this vision, or maybe I'm getting paranoid even talking now.
Well, yeah.
Perhaps I could go see Zook while the rest of the party goes see Throman, and you guys decide on the spot whether to tell him or not. That way I would have no.
You guys still have a few hours before you dock.
That way I would have no knowledge of it.
they're listening to this conversation right now. In that case,
Yeah.
they know if you're going to.
Yeah.
What was that? The stars are calling me. I gotta go. And I go back to the owl.
It's an odd one, but faithful.
I just stole all your ales.
I don't know.
You don't know that. People.
Can I feel them watching me? Like, is there like a tie, like
What's your insight bonus?
+2?
You definitely get that paranoid feeling that someone's watching, but you're never quite sure if that is just your paranoia prickling your mind or actually attributed to some kind of force.
I'll attribute it to some kind of force. If I pop out my eye, do I still feel it?
I forget that you can do that sometimes. Arkyan pulls out his eye and kind of inquisitively stares at it with his other good eye. Real eye. Roll some arcana.
14.
You understand within this eye what gives it its power. It is tied to other points of that same type of power. This is what will allow you to see things that other people can't. Yeah.
So essentially they're scrying me through the orb on their table?
Your best guess would be that those two things come from a similar point of construction and therefore could very well hold a tie to each other.
Can I try and reverse engineer it and look at them through their orb?
Roll Arcana again.
I'll use the luck on that.
Okay. While James is below getting absolute shit-faced, you guys watch...
Or more
15,
shit-faced.
15. So, focusing on the orb itself, you kind of put yourself into a receptive trance-like state. The orb is... its main function is to allow whoever it's attuned to cast freely without expending spell slots. It itself does not have a scrying element to it.
Does that mean I don't use spell slots?
No, God, no. You just know that the orb back on the Talon Isles...
That's what that orb did, okay.
Yeah.
And what, my orb is designed for people to be able to see what it does? Or like where it is and what it's doing at the time?
These are questions you don't have the answers to.
If it's through your eye and we can find someone who can figure out how they're doing that, then we might find a way to block it.
Yeah, exactly. Yet that does not help us any further with our present dilemma.
Well, not if we go see Throman first.
Well, to get to was always a bit annoying, but I guess we can go see him first.
The ship eventually docks, as you guys have this conversation, with the Black Winter Castle. And essentially, this side of the castle is made to look very unassuming. The dock itself is not a advertised thing. Throman had originally constructed it as way of escape, should he need to. There was supposed to be ships that could come very quickly at his call. He could sneak through the hidden gates in the back wall, jump on a ship and be gone. It's not one that's... It's not like Stonefall Cove or Duskin, where you guys know it's a port. Very few people know of this. But as you dock, there's the ringing of the bell from the ship, and immediately a couple of guards open up the back gates. You leave the ship itself, tied and tethered to the back of Blackwinter, and enter once more amongst the raucous sounds of celebration, songs and singing, and oh yes, ale. As the Festival of the Everstar
Am I with them or by...
You're still dancing.
I go looking for Jinx. I'm like, Jinx! Jinx, where are you? We're landing.
You hear it.
Yeah. So I quickly go, oh crap. I get out the door and try and relock it.
Okay, roll sleight of hand.
Nat 20.
Yeah. So, with great precision and
Saw it
speed.
too. It's
Yeah, I
like,
can see it from here. With great precision and speed, you just reverse the damage you've done, and it's locked and just...
I'm a functioning alcoholic.
Yeah, it's like you try and lock it, and you fail, but you're so drunk that you actually do
Do
by
it,
accident.
yeah. And I rush it, I'm like, yeah, boss.
We've landed. You can have all the ale you want.
Yeah, finally! After all this time, I've been waiting for my damn ale.
I know. You
Finally! You don't understand. I've been waiting
All right.
so long
All right.
for my ale.
All right. Tell it to the lady of the night. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, stumbling, some of you stumbling, the rest of you happy to be back on solid ground, certainly Pelor. Pelor's child is happy to be back from the ocean, from whence he'd never travelled before. Arkyan, continuously paranoid, as you wonder if everything you're seeing is being transmitted somehow to the people in the Talon Isles. And Orthanc, looking forward to some kind of remuneration from Throman when you find him, as he owes you gold for this journey. As you get closer to the centre of the city, Blackwinter Castle, through the channels of Metropolis, of all the things that are hidden there within, you find yourselves in the presence of the now familiar Zook's Institute, the Mages Guild that has been erected from Throman Ashbeck's command to commemorate Zook, who now lives there as the head mage. The festival itself is, it's nearing the end, but that's still a week or two away, as people dance and sing and laugh, and there's food and people passed out. It's kind of like a Christchurch on a Saturday night, and you guys are handed drinks as you enter the main place, and people are throwing confettis in the air with these flowers and such, as singing and dancing and little thing.
I grabbed it.
Cool. Double fisting it. You guys going straight to Throman's castle?
Really? Double fisting? That's what you gotta go with?
I've
I was
heard that
hoping
before for drinking.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, double fisting.
That's a thing?
That's a thing.
Okay.
I mean, context is important.
Just
It is.
double fisting. Yeah. Fucking A.
Too much time on the internet. Will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been on the internet far too long.
What's the
ruins your
internet? It
mind,
doesn't
yeah.
exist in this world yet. We could. No, it doesn't exist in this world.
Let's not go down that road.
Are you going straight to Throman's castle, or are you going to enjoy the festival?
I want to go to 6.
Zooks. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Sweet.
I will go drink.
Okay.
I'll go with him because he's my boss.
Okay, you guys get all the ale you can drink and more. It's like the Japanese custom that they have on business meetings and such. You never fill your own drink during the Festival of the Everstar. You only ever fill other people's drinks.
Is there a naked woman they can eat off of?
It's
That is a
almost like
Japanese
Japan.
festival.
I so would go for that.
I'm going to roll for it, and basically 1 through 19, no. Natural 20, yes.
Nat 20.
It's a
God.
5.
Oh.
Look it up for the dice.
I got 19.
That was close. So, Arkyan heads towards Mage's Guild and says he'll join up with you guys later. You guys find all the ale you can drink. Of course, it's not just ale that's being offered. There's archery contests, pie eating contests, drinking contests, arm wrestling contests, anything you'd like to engage in.
Arm wrestling.
Alright, so
Drinking.
maybe you find a tail. Nice.
Drink wrestling.
Yeah. I'm just using mostly my new dice tonight, so I'm just going to use my new dice. Alright, straight strength, straight constitution.
I've been
DC
drinking for
3.
a while.
Natural
though.
20.
Nice.
16.
Oh,
Nice.
beats it by 1. So, breaks the person's hand, all the bones in his hand to dust as you just slam that down. 50 gold. And as this other person just locks eyes with you as 3, 2, 1, and they down the drink, eventually put the upturned thing on the head, you beat them by just a split second. 50 gold.
50.
Yeah. It's Festival of the Everstar, man. This stuff is absolutely wild. It's now about midday. Gore, is there anything you'd like to do?
I think I'll go with Arcane to Gedzuk.
Cool. You guys make your way to the Mage's Tower, Mage's Guild, to find a locked door. What do you do?
I knock on the door.
Silence. Hello? And this little slit opens in the door, and just these 2 old grey eyes of just elderly.
Yes, hello again. You may recognize me. I was here just a little while ago. I accidentally filled the building up with fog, which you might have seen. I'm
Just
here
casual.
for my audience with Zook.
Okay. Yeah. And you hear. And eventually the door open. You just see this wizened old, maybe 400-year-old gnome, long beard. Oh! This way. And just starts wandering. Eventually leads you down spiral stairs, deep into the earth to Zook's chamber. Feel free to play Zook.
This is you.
This is
you
me?
now.
Was it?
Okay.
Duke's chamber in the penthouse?
He's dead to me.
His
As well as
alchemy
alchemy
lab.
shop.
Yeah.
Cool.
As you enter, he is pouring potions, brewing things. Yeah, generally potion making. As he looks up, he smiles, he runs and gives Gore a hug, and then he gives you a hug as well. Good to see you.
Yeah, greetings, my friend. It's lovely to see you.
Well, you survived. That's always nice.
You too?
Well, seemingly. Yeah. No, I think I'm okay. How was your journey?
Interesting.
To say the least.
Before
Well,
we go any further, do you have any way of preventing someone from magically seeing what is happening while we have this conversation?
Well, Throman himself has put great work into keeping the Mages Guild protected for such things. Yeah, certainly.
Alright, so we can speak now without anybody.
Within these walls, the protection is absolute.
Excellent.
Can I sense if I'm still being watched?
Roll Arcana.
17.
Cool. You feel
Oh, fuck, 15. I keep thinking I have +5 arcana, but I've only got +3.
cool.
15.
Your mind feels clear and unimpeded. You certainly don't feel like anyone's watching.
Alright, cool. Well, Gadzuk, I seem to have a stalker, if you will.
Well, that doesn't
So,
sound good.
we recently discovered that my eye is actually one of several such constructions that are all quite closely tied together. And we had a very specific warning that we are being watched through my eye constantly. Would you know of any magics that could possibly cut this tie to the other artifacts? Or just generally stop any form of scrying or viewing us from a distance?
If you speak of simple magic, we have people within the guild who can cast the spell, essentially block that sort of thing very, very easily. If you're talking about older magic, it would be more of a ritual that we'd have to do, and that could go anywhere. But certainly within our realms of possibility.
Well, I always took you for an experimentalist.
Is
And the
eyes
first in his
flash?
field?
Yes, well, I often am a bit of a trendsetter in the mage world.
Like there's not very much we can do in the future if we are constantly under the fear of being watched by someone. So
Wow.
I'm more than happy to go through with this ritual.
Excellent. Let me gather a few mages and we'll meet you upstairs.
Cool.
Cool. After 20 minutes, you're led into a room of steel and wood. The what are they called? Windows. Fuck, that's bad, but I can't think of that word. Stained glass windows that adorn all the walls are beautiful patterns and such that you kind of recognise as being similar to the webs of the arcane that you'd seen on the Talon Isles, but multicoloured and quite complex. The floor itself is mainly wood of different shades and metal that culminate in the centre of the room on an altar. The mages step forward, all wearing white robes with the hoods down, and there's young ones, old ones, but you can feel the arcane within the room as if the humidity itself of this place. There's this like thick web of arcane hung in the air. Zook motions for you to put your eye on the plinth.
Cool. I hover it out and drop it on.
Cool. Alright. Zook starts ritual casting, and the other monks will assist. Net 1 and a 5. As seemingly.
Can I use my luck to make him re-roll it?
We learned that you can do that.
We did learn we could do that on NPC's tutorial. That's more like it.
Cool.
So.
Unless you're going for a low number, of course.
It's not golf.
Okay.
Yeah, as they start chanting, you see that nothing's happening, and watch like in the back of the room, and then as they focus their energies, and this white light starts glowing around the eye, and essentially you feel like the light itself is almost like 1,000 pairs of scissors just around the aura, just cutting off any kind of connection to whatever it was part of. The eye fills the room with this white smoke, and through the white smoke and like these little visions, you can see the 3 necromancers. They're discussing, and the king is just not listening to the other two that are talking. He's just staring directly at you, and you just feel like the smoke. You're just seeing something through the smoke, through this haze of time, and he just watches you very, very concerned.
He's looking at me concerned.
Yeah, and then behind you, you just get the sense there's something there, and as you turn, this massive eye just behind you, this dragon's eye just watching you intently. You essentially feel yourself trapped between 2 energies, draconic and necromantic. You can see that these 2 energies are completely independent of each other, but through the forging of your eye, and certainly the events that have transpired recently, those parts of time, these 2 arcane energies are interweaving and creating something insanely powerful. But as the spell strikes down and this white flash just emanates, the smoke turns to this bright light, you realise that draconic kind of necromantic scrying ability has just been cut right off the eye, and that all comes back to the room, and colours and sounds return. And Zook kind of like that.
Very, very impressive. That was perhaps one of the greatest arcane achievements I've ever seen.
He blushes.
Is there perhaps anything I could give you in return for your service?
Don't be in my mind right now.
Don't make it weird, Ollie.
Sorry.
You made it weird, Ollie.
Real weird.
You made it weird.
The first thing that came to mind was just... he says, for a friend, no charge.
Thank you very much.
The other monks go into a conversation about the spell. A lot of them had never actually cast that kind of thing before, and some of them were just excited to be part of a ritual cast, which is pretty cool arcane magic. Yeah.
Can I look for fame?
Sure. You can find it.
I want to drunkenly flirt with her.
Okay, right. Roll. Up to you. Performance, persuasion. Your choice.
Deception, more like it.
But I'm drunk enough to just do this.
Not everything about me is a halfling, you know.
Yeah. Performance, it's the same.
I love that all your dice are currently just all balanced on each other. Alright, DC 15 check.
7.
Unfortunately, she's not a halfling. So.
Oh,
Racist.
racist! What the hell? Does she actually say that to me?
No, of course not. She's flirting with a barbarian at another table.
I kind of like sad Charlie Brown walk away.
So, the Festival of the Everstar rages, I assume eventually you rejoin the party?
Well, Zook, there's one other thing I was wondering.
Of course.
Is there anyone in this tower that specializes in the making of staves or scrolls?
Something we've been looking into is creating and crafting magical items. Unfortunately, those architects are harder to find. But check back in a few weeks.
Right. I will keep my eye out for any staff building manuals.
Yeah, cool. I'm not giving you any experience points for that.
For what?
For the joke. Keep it. Was that not even? Okay, that works. Alright, rest of the party. What are you guys doing? Waiting for the Festival of the Everstar to finish. 2 weeks later. So, you'll rejoin. Now a bit more drunkard and
A bit more. What's my state right
you're
now?
really roll Constitution because you must be
Just suffering, man. 3.
okay. Jinx is barely conscious, hanging on to people, falling and peeing in gardens and throwing up and in a bad way. Yeah.
And singing Taylor Swift as you go.
Oh yeah, of course.
Shaya. I don't know where I got the tune from, but it's annoying.
I pick a few fights with some people, and then I get tragically drunk and start telling people about how I hate everyone, and especially orcs.
Okay.
And I kind of do the same in parallel, but it's really a window that I'm looking at, my reflection.
Roll strength.
Oh,
I think for the fights.
Sorry, that was me laughing.
Yeah, that's
Highest DC is 15.
Just strength?
Yeah.
7.
7. Okay, you managed to beat the crap out of one dude and get your ass handed to you by 2 others.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it's probably because of the ale that you've been drinking. After some time, it quietens down a little bit in the taverns and most people are unconscious. Are you guys going to Thrum? Gonna rest?
Oh god, I'm so drunk.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You think you're drunk? I'm yelling at myself at the window right now.
Roman's gonna be any different.
No, that's a great point.
Like I've met him like 3 times and he has been wasted every single time.
Okay, do we meet up again?
Yeah.
Alright, I say I've got a confession to make.
Yeah?
You know the ale?
I love my ale.
Yeah. You know the ale that you had on the ship?
The ale that I have on the ship.
Yeah. The ale that you had on the ship, yeah.
Yeah?
I can't even drunk it all.
What did he say?
He said, kind of.
I can't enough. He drank it all and he gave some to me. It was really, really weird.
While you're talking, I swing my axe into the wall beside your head and keep laughing maniacally.
I know. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You should do something about that.
Maybe I will.
Mm.
And I wrench
I'm
my
sorry
axe free.
he gave me some ale to drink. I apologize.
I'm sure you are. And he just found the ale. Second day on the ship.
Yeah, it was weird. I was on the ship for so long, couldn't find it at all.
I'm gonna go throw up.
Okay.
And then we're gonna talk about this another time.
Alright, I'm gonna talk to my friend. It's a window. I'm gonna talk to my friend and then we'll go.
It's very ugly, but yes, okay.
Yeah, no, right.
Such a square head.
Just talking to myself.
Wow.
Cyclops isn't going for all.
Can he make a roll to see if he remembers that or not?
Yeah, sure.
So I don't get in trouble.
Roll straight intelligence.
I'm a pirate! I'm a pirate! What do you expect?
Natural 20.
Whoa!
Oh, yeah, he does.
Technically -1.
It's literally the only thing
Burned
you remember
into his
from
mind.
years, Yeah.
Something about my ale, and like sit up in bed.
I just destroyed the party.
So, you guys drunk enough? Are you gonna take a rest before you go see Throman?
What pirate? I guess we would like
Just go
be
for it.
alright with it.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Cool.
Thurman and I have bonded like this, so.
It's true. Okay, so you make your way towards Throman's castle.
I throw up on the way there before we get there. Yeah.
Of course.
We both like throw up in our own. We have our moments, and yeah.
You throw it by a wall and look up and see your reflection and go, oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yes, I'm repulsed by my own reflection.
No, I mean like you throw up on your reflection shoe.
Oh yeah, I do that too.
So, you notice that the guards outside Throman's castle are all adorned with flower wreaths and stuff in their hair. They do not look happy about it, but that's part of the Everstar. They're essentially like badass dudes, like scars and weapons and flowers in their hair, which is cool. And eventually you get into Throman's main chamber, where one of the guards immediately recognises you guys and runs off to get Throman, and you're left in the silence for maybe a minute or two.
I awkwardly pluck the strings on my guitar in the silence.
Roll performance.
22.
And the guards that remain and everything kind of start bopping along, it's quite cool. Actually.
We're functioning our goals.
Yeah, you guys.
I told you, Throman had a plan.
You do notice that some of the new silks and stuff that are adorning the walls show Throman standing over the body of Elisia. It's a creature that he had no part in slaying, but is taking the credit for it anyway.
Same as Moonskull, isn't it?
And eventually you hear the staggering of Throman as he comes singing songs from the Festival of the Everstar echoing through the hallways of his castle. And we say for all that's there, all the people Everstar, everything we want so far, light of the Everstar. And he's got hand ale, massive tankards, and he just stumbles in. My friends! What? Friends of my friends.
I reach in for a hug, but take one of the ales from him.
Yep, he doesn't. You don't even have to roll.
And then, like behind his,
Yeah. I thought I had to.
King Throman, we have just
Yes.
returned from Lord Nyath's castle for our reward.
What?
No.
It's the one eye, the other one eye.
We've
I
just come
remember
from
you.
Lord Nyath's castle. We've
I
come
like
for
your
our
beard.
reward.
Rewards. Yes, absolutely. Bring these men some ale.
Hey!
Shake it off.
Two guards go and grab some ale. So
Perhaps we should come back in the morning.
wonderful idea. I'll come back in the morning. What?
I walk out.
Okay. Next morning, you show up again to Throman's castle. This time, the guards outside still wearing the flowers in the crown. However, when you walk into Throman's main chamber, there's no singing. Instead, there's Throman going like this.
Can I roll to see whether I remember telling him about
Sure. Roll intelligence.
intelligence?
Yeah.
Alright. 4.
No.
I don't!
Oh boy! Wow, okay.
You guys show up once more to the castle, and as the doors open, Throman goes, "Oh, sorry. Keep it down. Come. My friends! Wonderful to see you. We must talk. Follow." He leads you down into the Hall of Champions. His meeting room, essentially. He sits you around the table. You can see he's on the water. And cold mutton. My friends, thank you for returning. How was the voyage?
The voyage was dangerous and we saw some odd things, but we didn't die.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Fantastic. Good to hear. Well, I sent you to discover all you could about the Talon Isles and the recent activity there. What did you see?
I turn and look at...
Yeah, not it.
Yeah.
I kind of sneak back behind my boss, because
Yeah.
he's my boss.
Turn and look at Arkyan and say, I believe someone was having a conversation with the wizard, if they were sober enough to do so.
I look at him extremely confused. I myself just came from Gadzuk's beautiful tower that
The
you so
institute.
generously constructed for him.
Man of my word, I am.
So yeah, Orthanc, let's tell him all about what happened.
Is it safe to discuss everything that happened?
I think so.
You think so?
99.9% sure.
Gadzuk was quite sure.
Yeah.
Then you can
Gadzuk
surely speak up.
Throman looks confused.
And pass me that ale while you're at it, would you?
I didn't have any ale early in the morning.
I'm sure there's one on the table beside you.
Yeah, there would be, yeah.
I mage hand it and give it to him
Cool.
without taking much attention.
I drink it really loudly and stare at you the whole time.
Well, my king,
Yes, my friend.
we, as you requested, travelled to these isles, and yeah, very unhospitable, if I might say.
I had anticipated as much.
Apparently, sending people in a wooden ship to an island full of fire-breathing things is not always that good of an idea.
Well, I'm sorry, all my iron ships are at the bottom of the sea, you know, poorly constructed they were, ill-advised.
Maybe like an airship or something.
You really want an airship.
Anyway, so yeah, that entire island is overrun by Dragonborn.
Oh.
Yeah, we saw them summon a red dragon and then kill it and then revive it into a Dracolich.
It's not exactly the best news.
Yeah, exactly. They also have this giant version of my eye, which they are using to call, or were using to call, pretty much every creature from Elisia to their island in order to get more and more dragons there, so that they can turn them into more and more Dracoliches.
Oh.
From what I'm aware.
They also seem to be all the same Dragonborn as
Yes.
well. Some sort of hive mind thing, potentially.
That's not good, but interesting.
They also very specifically requested we do not tell anyone, including yourself, about their presence on the island. And the reason I just came from Gadzuk was because they were scrying us through our eye. We believe we are now safe from their sight.
I've
However, that is
heard of this before. Arcane forces or such that have been created in the same spot have a sisterhood, unbreakable almost bond. So clearly,
apparently not unbreakable by the Master Zook.
well, none can contend with the power of Zook. As for the dragon, there's been a lot of stories coming from the east. The city of temples has fallen to what is known now as Dragonfire. And while the stories at first I believed to be the ramblings of drunkards, coming too frequently to be able to ignore any further. But thank you. I'm sure that was not an easy information to retrieve.
They did threaten to start their engines outside your window. They did threaten something if this information was given. And if I were in a position, as I've seen, when a scout doesn't return, when your eyes are closed to what your enemy is doing, that is when you strike hard and fast before they can properly prepare. That is what I would expect from them.
Right.
Are you suggesting we prepare the city for a siege or an attack or some sort?
Yes. First of all, we should hide the ale, and then
Agreed.
we should prepare for a dragon attack.
Right. Well,
No matter, I've never seen such a collection of drunks in one city. Under my breath.
the city itself was built many years ago. Its walls more recently built to withstand the sieges of armies when creatures are another matter, but certainly something that we can put some time, effort, and of course platinum into solving.
Preferably more effort and more platinum and less time, because I think that's the thing you are most likely the lowest on.
Understandable. Well,
the vision I had of the dragon attacking Blackwinter,
yeah.
do I know exactly how many days that is away?
You're not even sure if that was
If
prophetic
that will still
or...
happen or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, I suppose I'm in some sort of debt once more to you. Gold, I'm sure, will suffice.
Oh, there is something else.
Yes?
They were odd. They did try and kill us initially, and then they let us go. And part of the reason was on the condition we didn't say anything, and the other was to bring them back information about the dragon that may or may not have been seen around these parts. Where it comes from, why it's awake again. They said, we are fire, we are one, and there's some imbalance, or they need to be connected. Something about 4 primal powers.
Huh. Interesting. The hive mind of which you speak, I've heard this before. Creatures, dark creatures that could communicate with the power of thought, move and attack as one. An entire web, a hand connected at the wrist to the powerful necromancers that rose those creatures. Power of necromancy itself long been outlawed. It was seen a desecration of the gods and an aberration of nature. But of course, you can never quell the fires of these curiosities indefinitely. There's always people that practice these things in secret. I wonder if we should investigate further.
It was not an idle threat. I think it is worth investigating.
I don't think we have any choice but to investigate.
We have a line on that necromancy temple place.
Yeah, we know exactly where it is.
Yeah.
Well, seems it's clear. Head to the temples, but on the way find as many as you can that have knowledge of these magics. Certainly keep an eye out for any dark activity. He tends to shiver. You still have your bird? Yes. I wonder. Would you have room for old dwarf on this trail?
If you can keep up.
I may send you, I may come with, I decide. But head to the temples. Find any you can that have knowledge books, anything like that.
Which temples do you speak of?
In the center of Ucast, largely the unexplored areas, the forests, the overgrown ruins. I think we need to go back to the old ways, the old cities within Ucast, the ones that seemingly have been forgotten, for they were the center points of certainly necromancy, but not just that, the birthplace of a lot of the institutes that now stand. Spiritual, dark, powerful, and old. There is something else. Duskin, towards the north. I mean to speak no disservice to the servants of Pelor.
I would think not, given how much we've aided you.
One of the Grand Masters, wise man, some would say too wise. Personally, I see him collapsing under the weight of his own genius, has spoken of a place, a city, a floating city, behind the clouds. He talks of a meeting of arcane powers.
Do you know what the rest of the temple thinks about this? Do they?
The Temple of Luskan rallies behind those who they believe in, and I say this, they believe in no one more. I wish you to keep your ear to the ground on such matters.
Would you have any idea where this flying fortress is?
Somewhere towards the north of Ucast. So,
The flying thing we saw behind the clouds on the ship, was that to the north?
yes.
Cool.
I will provide, if you have time, give me a few hours, some travel companions, mounts of the like, get you across Ucast a lot faster. Find the temples.
Flying ones this time, I hope?
Unfortunately, flying creatures are a lot harder to source. I will give you my fastest horses.
You see, your stables are completely devoid of griffins. Surely King Throman Ashback himself must have a stable of griffins ready at the shortest notice.
I have myself a royal griffin, however that remains my exit strategy
Very
for
well.
many different scenarios. travel to the temples. Find your way there. Take every care, as this part of Ukast has been largely forgotten for large amounts of time, and there's no telling what might exist within those overgrown ruins. If you hear of anyone along the way speaking of necromancy or dragons, make sure you question them at length. I wish you to find the new magics that may be awakening once more. But, for now, I'm off to enjoy the rest of the festival.
My king.
I think there is one thing you may have forgotten, my king.
I was hoping you wouldn't remember. And these two guys step forward and pour gold onto the center of the table. You each make 150 gold.
My king, I would like to accompany this group of idiots across the land.
Well, I'm sure that we can come to some kind of agreement. How much ale you got on your ship at the moment?
Well, I'll have
Seeing
to...
as no one else is ever allowed to touch it, apparently his entire storeroom is completely full.
I think I'll have to check and perhaps murder someone, but then I'll get back to you about that one.
Wonderful! Well, my friends, travel fast, swiftly, and quietly to the centers of Ukast. Please be warned, there could be any number of things awaiting you, but find the information that we require to quell the fires of these dark, draconic necromancers. For a dragon reborn that fears not death, fears little else. And our world, whilst strong and stands against the powers of such, can never stand too long against an eternal fire, one that's burned since the beginning of Elisia itself. Take my horses. If they die, I'll kill you. They were not easy to train. But, please, come back alive with all your limbs. If you require nothing else, I'll send you on your way.
Well. No, never mind.
Okay, and that's where we're going to end tonight's...
Oh, can we just end like, because he's going to have to leave his ship here.
Yeah.
And
Can we check for the ale?
Yeah. Can I say, if you're going with these guys, are you okay with me watching the ship?
Yeah, don't take it anywhere.
Yeah, I'll make sure that ale is locked down and no one touches it. Again.
You'll try very hard this time.
I will. Well, I mean, this time, he broke... Oh, I don't remember him telling me that. I will look after the ship.
It's very hard to swim when you don't have arms and legs. You know that, right?
Well, thank God I do, then.
Thank God you
thank
do.
Thank Paler I do.
For now.
Yes. I will look after the ship. Yeah. And the ale.
Okay.
I walk away and like stare at you like, the whole
And
time.
I just like go and walk away. There we go.
Awesome. Okay. So
I can't wait for that to blow up.
Wicked, the party tasked with uncovering more information about the necromancy, the latest awakenings of ancient arcane powers throughout Elisia, the forces themselves that are aligning, and bringing that information back to your good old friend King Ashback, who's granted you very quick and well-trained mounts, one for each of the party members. He's also thrown a bit of gold at you, and certainly would be very thankful for you to return. However, you guys have small amounts of information. Head to the centre of Ukast, find the Death Tark Temple, and uncover more about maybe the visions that Arkyan's been seeing, or certainly the powers that those who you met on the Talon Isles possess. That is where we'll pick up next week. Thank you guys very much. Thanks, Dave, for playing Jinx at ridiculously short notice.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah,
It was like 60 seconds before the stream. We're like, oh, that person's not showing
And
up.
I ended up being a drunk rogue.
Yeah. I'm sure we can carry on Jinx as an NPC, and anytime we come across a point where we...
Well, I'm always here anyway, so
Yeah,
when he comes back, I'll just jump in.
Jump back in, yeah. So, remember, check us out now on Facebook, the D20 Multiverse, which has, we've got a bunch of members there. We post stuff every day, D&D memes, and just random D&D thoughts and that kind of thing. Of course, at Twitter, at the D20verse, you can get at us. There's a new podcast that we created called the GM Journeys on iTunes, and that's on YouTube as well, I think. And in 3 days, there's a live stream of the other game set in Ukast, Eyes of Elisia, which is there's been some crossover of the stories for those two games in tonight's session. We'd love to just dedicate this to Leonard, you absolute legend. Thank you for donating all that cash. That was just absolutely such a wonderful surprise. When Dave discovered that as we were just about to go live and told me, I had a big old smile on my face, and you just made my week. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, and we'll get that battle cam as soon as we can. And at the very least, if it's not the next session, it'll be the next session of this. It'll be the one after that, and then we can do some real cool, awesome stuff. And we've got our own dedicated table with battle maps, and we've got miniatures and stuff. It's gonna be absolutely wild. Thanks Dragonator for coming along with us as well. Good to see you there. Of course, this game will be back in a week's time to find the unexplored areas that we cast. Certainly the lost ancient ruins and all the forests and lands that exist therein. For myself, Oliver, Dungeon Master, and my lovely players, the Black Winter Knights, we bid you adieu. Adieu?
Adieu.
I was close.